there! Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, hi. And what am I thanking Logos for? For helping Mia and I. Well, Ascalon too, thank you to her, but oh, that was so much drama in like the last few sections. I feel so bad for the ship. Like poor Windermere mama. Like that was like a big oof. It was fun seeing reunion for their side. Tallulah's doing her community service as one do. And then with Amia and I. I'm glad Amia's fine. Or at least I think she's fine. I shall find out more in the Mercenaries' Day, or unless it goes to the other story, then I will find out later. But woohoo, I feel decent. You know, I don't actually have to bring a support unit right now. I am powerful enough. I'ma believe. Honestly, since coming to Victoria, my drafting work has been at a standstill. Back in my mercenary days, I spent most of my free time writing them. One book filled, a new book empty. Really, I had more time to write than I physically could. And yet, since joining the military commission, I haven't given those notebooks a flip through in forever by now. I obtained what seemed like a higher position and power. I wasn't directing a squad or two of mercenaries any longer. Now they put the sand table of a whole battlefield before me. And I grew more and more sick of what I'd written about. I used to believe that most important test of an archivist character was loyalty to their accounts. Yet bit by bit, I came to discover these books had turned into echoes of wave after indistinguishable wave, reproductions of scene after scene of the same tragedy. I've been through this all with my own flesh, felt it all with my own soul. Why even make all this, vacant language, an empty summary of it? I've had enough. More backstory, huh? When did it happen again? I remember last year in September, when the summer was exceptionally long.
General, the mayor is dead. Your saber still drips with the blood. If only the blades of the military commission and the mercenaries could be as swift. As long as it's a weapon, there's no real difference.
I remember the look he gave me in that moment, but I'm still not sure what he really meant by it.
Roger. News just came from the Mercs. The 14 MPs in the plot to assassinate the regent have been apprehended. And what stance are the other MPs taking? They don't have one. I thought you'd be more direct about your methods. If the military commission requires, I can execute every MP straight away. With our current situation, this will suffice. The airship is still under construction. We need just a little extra patience.
I admire the dedication to writing a diary that Hodor has. I tried writing one at one point, then I got annoyed and then I stopped.
Pull your men out. The Nachzera King's Legion has arrived. Legion?
My voice shakes a little. The Nachzera's Legion. Of all the military powers I met in war, the vast majority paled compared to that one name. The difference was heaven and earth.
When? How? Whatever direction the Kazdel army enters Victoria from, they'd have to pass through major duchies. It wouldn't matter how they conceal themselves, that large of a force could never. His Majesty has arrived in Londinium suburbs. 2 reorganized royal court units directly subordinate to him have been stationed outside the city. I understand. I'll order the Mercs to withdraw. That Lieutenant Colonel Leto had his talk with the Regent. He and his defense forces will soon be assuming control over all of Londinium's administrative affairs. On the surface, Londinium will enter a state of semi-martial control, led by the defense forces, owing to the garrison rebellion. Don't think that'll fool the Grand Dukes. Their intelligence networks are well developed in the city. They'll definitely start mobilizing for war within the next few months. It won't take that long. It's exceedingly likely that the quickest army will show up beneath Londinium's walls within 20 days. But no fear. No matter who arrives first, they won't be hasty to act. Any Duke that dares march alone will become the common enemy of all, just as in the Duke of Windermere's failure of a raid 2 years ago. Her high-speed warships didn't even succeed in launching from their berths before her own men obstructed her. It was ridiculous. The Duke of Windermere. She's clever. She's been warning Parliament since the day the regent first made contact with Victoria. Cavendish didn't just invite us to enter Londinium on his lonesome. Each and every duke was hoping to make a military vassal out of the regent, an assistant to the thorns in their sides. Understand? The Duke of Windermere is no exception. Behind the guise of the iron-fisted soldier, she obeys the game logic of aristocrats as much as the rest.
Ooh, hello, hello. I shall accept the hug. Woo ha ha.
She was just the one most impatient to place us back in the toolbox. From what I hear, Victoria's legendary steam knights don't exist anymore. You do have a nose for sniffing, Holderer. Not a good quality for a serviceman. I'm a mercenary general. The Regent and Military Commission scheme was a huge success. Pretty crazy. Somehow the Sarkats have a firm hold on Victoria's capital. The dukes need an easy-to-cut-up army to put down dissidents, and Parliament is desperate for an appropriate defense to avoid any more action like those two stupid dukes' adventures. In their eyes, the Sarkats came fresh out of the Civil War on a silver platter, table-ready, disposable. Now we've taken the industrial sector, leased Parliament, and even the Shard will be under our control by any day now. The Regent's taking Londinium for real. But we can't shunt the city off. We can stir up conflict, but then what? We end up buried together with Londinium under a coalition of foreign militaries? Who is the Commission planning?
I know I'm being a little too forward, but you draw suspicion by being too obedient. Yet Manfred doesn't even turn to look at me. He's flipping through a book. Untitled.
Do mercenaries have so many problems, Holderer? Have I given you too much leeway? I only need to know what the goal I'm serving is. The mercenaries I know have other tastes, inquiring as to the more loose-pocketed employer, or mulling over how to waylay a Sancta caravan. I just have different personal habits. Personal habits.
The Military Commission General before me pries his gaze away from the book. I hear his position here isn't just for his service rank. I hear his relationship with Theresis is very special, which means I have to be extra cautious. I dip my head slightly, working to ensure I express enough respect and humility.
Is Uriah right? It affects my depth perception in sword combat. I'll get used to it ASAP. I received your interrogation records. The assassin was an Innis woman, a mercenary alike. We sure didn't expect a Sarkas like Innis to get bought out by Parliament, especially for a hit on the Regent. Innis is dead, and you lost an eye for it. You received commendations from the Military Commission. No commendations necessary. Then you'll receive payment in mercenary fashion. After all, you and Innis, and that lunatic with the W call sign, led an active mercenary unit for quite some time. The old Sarkas of the Scar Market. Their commendations for you are blinding. Very decisive of you to kill her. It's the only way a mercenary lives. We'll do anything to survive. Even gutting your own colleagues. Even gutting our own colleagues. Then I'm sure one day you'll come to dispatch me, won't you? You asked me just now, what could the Military Commission be planning? Our plan is only drawn up to the point war breaks out. As for what follows, that would be their plan to make. This place is the heart of hatred, and it will be buried by vengeance, just as you wrote in those booklets. Just as every war we've been through. So you were. Never mind that. Carry on writing. You're a heavy mission. Bear that responsibility.
Now the Military Commission's duty in Londinium is fulfilled. With the single activation of the Shard, the tempest of war will be unstoppable. In which case, what more could Theresis want to do? What more can we do? Are we back to modern times? I think we are.
Done with your notes? No, I wasn't writing anything. Just giving the sword another polish. The mercenary claymore. I haven't used this thing in forever.
Holderer, I miss your other look. The other hairstyle was so pretty. You're so heartless.
If you want it, you can have it. A present from me to you.
A sword? Low efficiency, zero interest. and you found the time to fix your hair. Can't blame you, I guess. We're not going to have the time for hair gel like you did back in Londinium.
It's just more convenient this way.
You should have kept that outfit. Maybe you could keep acting like the merc leader, treasurer of the army. What's the thing army guys say? It's your calling to serve?
A mercenary's calling is to get paid, not to get bereavement. Knock it off and save your spittle, you two.
I prefer the other hairstyle for Holderer. Like, the other hairstyle was just so pretty. This Holderer is not my type.
Defense perimeter, scouting radius. Is this the opening?
Until they started fighting, yeah. As for now, they're marching, no matter how much the Dukes hate each other's guts. This front's gonna close in sooner or later. You're sure your guy's gonna pass this position? You can literally see the Shard's catastrophe clouds from here.
The catastrophe's landing point is a line of fire between the Duke of Wellington and the Notchzera King. Chances are the Iron Duke will retreat his front. As for Windermere, she probably won't have the spare energy to deploy her own forces until she gets her daughter back inside a nomadic fortress. My guy doesn't have a lot of exit routes from Londinium.
Wait, incoming. The shadow's very fast. It's like... a polygonal... yarn ball? A what? The overall shape is polygonal, but highly irregular. It's arts. High chance the naked eye can't follow it, or else she wouldn't make it here.
Target confirmed. We can only afford a little rough play. W.
I turn back and she's gone. A second later, deafening explosions.
After her.
The scale of dust cloaks the entire surroundings, but we're not blind to what's either a sizable witchcraft, vehicle, or a bizarre aircraft. As ever, W kicks off without restraint. If we did graze a lich... I brush away the smoke, but surprisingly, I feel myself hit something.
What is that? A wire?
Silk threads hanging crisscrossing from the void, then pressing into it again. Mercenaries? What a coincidence. Come at me then. This is where the strange sensations truly start. Her figure snaps into a formlessness in an instant, threads swirling and fading. I thrust an arm out with all my strength, but grab nothing but dust.
Did she run? I told you, you can't blow up a lich with bombs. No, she's still around. We have to catch her.
Now they're playing hide and seek with the lich.
Something's not quite right. We never passed by any area like this. Nothing here casts any shadow. Is it an illusion?
I think there's a bunch of big guys over there, right by the mountain. Those are some crazy swords. How do they lift them?
Mountain? Wasn't this a plain?
I follow where W's looking. The haze gradually thins, and then the scene becomes clear. I gulp. Practically everything about the battlefield leaves my mind. Did they get isekai'd?
In ancient Sarkaz, the ash-bleached city lies ahead. Let us hasten. It will admit us. The children of the soil and stone have built city walls on sorrow's ground. Kasdel, each syllable is a bitter journey unto its own. Where is it? From dreams we have departed, seeking to this day. The age of exile has come to an end.
What are they saying?
It's an ancient Sarkaz dialect. Sorrow's ground, ash-bleached city. I'm having trouble with the rest. I can only guess.
I think they mentioned Kasdel too. Which one?
Diablo Balor Saka, the condemned Nor clan, and Chiolon, the errant overlord, will meet us on our way. Oh, and he is here too. Guldul, the king of Sarkaz.
I couldn't know these names better. I could almost recite their legends from memory. The first line of sarcasm I ever read from was from the tale of these people, the epic transcribed time and time again, still handed down in Kazo slums to this day. What these shadows tell is the second Kasdo that could be called a city. After the very first Kasdo was laid to waste by the elders and the ancients, there passed over 1,000 years where Kasdo was no more than a tiny hamlet. A mass of thatch and wooden fencing. Frail, easily destroyed, it was ravaged by the wills of colonizers again and again and again the Sarkas were sent into exile. Until this moment, where the Sarkas had once again accumulated strength, once again rebuilt a true city. They left the waste that we now call Columbia, and came to the heartlands of Terra. And there they lived, and there they died. And then a betrayal, another migration east. And before they'd gone far, the blue flames of fury were once again betrayed. It seems as if Sarka's history were cursed from that moment on. History's waves have rolled on, to this present day where citadels are incessantly scrapped and rebuilt and still amble about in arm's reach. But the names they speak, those are that city's first king of Sarkas. The kings of Sarkas, 7,000 years ago. When did this lich appear before us? How does she have this power? I draw my sword across my chest. The lich lifts a hand. Ooh, hello, hello. How? How did you produce these things? Considering this Kasdel's historical significance and its impact on the generations to come, the legend of the King of Sarkas have found such widespread in song. But these vagabonds, even we lack for such trifling accounts. I haven't even touched those fights. I'm procrastinating for those. I prefer story over fighting. This is scarcely even witchcraft. It is absolutely not. No Originium arts could attain this degree of effect. Oh, or perhaps it could, but at the very least a historian would be needed. Is it a trick of physics? A projector that forms images from the mist? When did our brother and sister gain such technology? How rude not to share! No, it's off. These pictures are too close to the recorded truth. Be it a technological feat, whence came the material? So this is some kind of arts then. Her hand sways gently in the air like she's feeling something, studying the colors before her and leaving us to our devices. But it's of no known category of arts. It's highly likely even that it isn't arts. How very strange, a Ferrenmutt. If Victoria wanted to tame a Ferrenmutt for battle, it should have started long ago. What's this bitch even doing? It seems you're not artists. You're simply and purely the ones who blew up my beloved cube. It was very comfortable sitting in it.
Messenger to the Lich Court, Lady Ermengarde. We deeply apologize for using such a method to contact you.
I don't know what misconception you have of liches, but honestly, I'm not that old. Stop kowtowing.
I fear this is not your arts either.
I certainly don't have the knack to conjure a band of 7 millennium-old vagabonds. What if I use art to stimulate it? Just the most basic tiny amount of energetic irritation. I don't know if she should do that, but she's doing it anyways, for science! A squall whips up. The vision before me recedes like the tide. The twisted scene returns to normality. A bloodied boulder abruptly appears before us all. Oh. Ooh, hello. Hope life is going well. Pretty good, surprisingly. I signed up for, a fellowship on a whim. I had an interview today, and I actually passed. They accepted me after, a few hours of deliberating. I was like, whoa, that was really quick. I'm like, dang, I did good. I actually thought I wasn't gonna get in since, based on,
the questions about my schedule, I'm just like,
yeah, I'm working full-time right now, and I'm also a student.
But other than that, I can dedicate as much time as I need to the fellowship.
And I got in. The key to success. Dressing decently for the day, being caffeinated and smiling throughout the interview.
And it worked. Wahaha! What is this? I checked this area 3 days ago. There was nothing like this here. Guys, Hey, Holderer, W, snap out of it. Ines is fine, thank the stars. My blood is boiling.
Where are they now? Well, time to fight. No fear.
How bad can this fight be? I'm doing story mode.
No fear. Oh, Nova Ferryman is added to the war. Ooh. I wonder if they'd be like that one lady from that other event. I know this isn't too bad so far of a fight.
Yes, indeed, this is fine.
It's good.
Okay.
Though man, I wonder how hectic my schedule's gonna end up becoming. I'm kind of excited. Like right now, it is the calm before the craziness of anything. Darn, I can't reach from there.
Wait, but I can reach from here. Haha.
All is good in the world. Look at that guy trying to approach slowly. Oh, did I even reach him? I think I might have. Oh, slowly approaching.
Approaching menacingly.
Go get him. Wait, what?
Oh no, it's one of those. Oh, I feel so much hate within my soul.
Let's go.
Lots and lots of anger.
Oh, the pain and suffering.
I'm all stocked.
Oh, this is fine. I can destroy them before the explosion happens, right? Yeah, this is completely fine. Maybe?
Yeah, I just gotta believe, you know? Believing is what I shall do, and then I shall win in the end.
I'm all stuck like a spider.
What is fear? Fear don't exist here. Come on, just a little bit more, please. Shoot.
This is fine. This is completely fine. Well,
At least he's out of the explosion range. Yes, indeed. Oh no, destruction.
oh, they're targeting him now.
But why?
Oh, never mind. Back to Mudrock.
Just a little bit more.
Okay, there. Phew! Yeah, it is pretty much like tower defense.
I've never felt my blood flowing so clearly through my own veins. It surges about like crazy, shooting out through my limbs, then finally converging on my heart again. At Rhodes Island, when the medic operators were examining me, they wanted to inject me with... what was it called? I forget. I gave them hell about that. I got the Originium. I didn't want more random junk around my body. Well, fine, I get the message. We need all this blood to live. It carries oxygen and yada yada whatever, Hoderer told me once. But right now, I'm sick of it. You're my blood, you little shit, so listen to me. And if not, you can get the hell out of my body.
Oh, I like that.
I feel for the dagger at my waist. W, what the hell's wrong with you? Nothing, just some bloodletting. Huh. Hoderer scrunches his brow. That lich is giving her hat a death grip. The racket finally dies down. No, actually, I guess we Hardy Bunch just got used to it. Ines, are you alright?
absolutely nothing's wrong with me. You guys explain. I get it. These rocks don't actually work on chilly old hags. I bet Kelsey could dance a whole jig here.
I believe it.
I'd also suggest you bandage that wound. I cut surgical, avoided the arteries.
So this is an anti-sarcas installation? Something to do with the blood?
Sarcas blood. Heh. There's a difficult guess. This witchcraft device hasn't properly activated yet. I drew past this area on the uneasy feeling I had. Here lies the main offender. Little wonder the tutors are always so cautious with matters of Londinium. So what if it does activate for real? All Sarcas explode and die. And then the Sanguine Arc throws our blood all over the Victorians?
No vehicle tracks in this vicinity. No signs it was transported. They took these giant crystals, tossed them in, crossed all these miles, and then set them down here directly. Somehow, this wouldn't be the first time I've heard of something like that. Lady Ermengarde, I'm guessing you have nothing to do with this either.
Naturally, liches can't accomplish this sort of thing. The space we research isn't this one.
Also, if I'm not mistaken, you recognized me just now.
Hoderer, was it? I've had an eye on your books before. Some of your manuscripts are even in circulation among Lathanian Sarkas.
Do you have any leads for us?
Why should I be helping you? You just blew up my little cube.
Humph.
That bitch just shot at me. That bitch just shot me a glance. Hey, you don't know how much I'm holding back from stuffing a bomb in that chest cavity of yours. Are all Sarkaz mercenaries so eager to die these days? If she says one more word, I'm seriously gonna do it. Forget it. Let's just talk about the illusion just now. That was a vestige. A spatial one, a temporal one. Were you looking for a vehicle tracks just now? That illusion was it. Some kind of special arts is affecting this place.
But that wasn't Originium arts, and it wasn't Sarkaz witchcraft.
These art circles are related to the vampires, and the illusion was definitely related to the art circles. But there's no direct line connecting them. Perhaps these are leads you can use?
What position are the liches taking?
The same as ever. We've made no promises.
But we have an informant telling us Casdell has had liches showing up too, who usually never make appearances in Casdell.
Oh? You left Babel, joined an infected organization, then ended up in Londinium, and you've still kept an intelligence net up in Casdell? Are you really just a mercenary? I feel like with your competences, you could get hooked up as a guest watcher in Lithanian. Relatively speaking, oh, except your arts is a little mediocre.
Personal habits.
Personal habits. In a battlefield this extensive, how do you think you'd stop me if I did want to leave without a whisper?
You were looking for us too?
Technically, I'm a little interested in you, specifically you.
Do you Sarkas always have to talk in riddles?
Score one interruption from Enos. She's getting impatient. Nice. I love W's. Inner thoughts. These are fun.
Let her draw everyone's attention while I kill the son of a lich dead.
Given you get your news from Casdell, that naturally means our siblings' acts just been feigning ignorance. We need, to give Teresa some flex room. We're taking control of Casdell right now. Everyone's come to Victoria, so someone's gotta look after this place. What flex room? Are you gonna hold a celebratory feast? Yes, that's the first of the plan. That's the first part of the plan. Then we decide National Foundation Day and so on. No more jokes now. That is just the first part of the plan. Teresa's and Teresa have no plans for evacuation at all. It seems they really do want Londinium to be the battlefield for a face-off against all the lands. We have no idea what's giving them so much confidence, but if it's their plan, brother and sister, then they must have some means in place already. So if they do succeed, then that means we'll have to rebuild Casdell, rebuild the Sarkaz's haven.
And if they fail, if the Sarkas fail here, then we'll lose an entire generation of youth, and maybe every youth that was to come. After the expedition of 200 years ago, most nations had no clue about the present state of Kazdo. They weren't even interested. Until all this, a lot of Victorian worthies believed Kazdo was just a pile of ruins. But before the Civil War, with Her Highness Teresa's establishment, Kazdo had an ascent nomadic city.
Until Teresa's messed the whole thing up, now Kazdo's just got this super giant witchcraft tractor. The kind that's got bolts and parts popping off it while it trundles along.
Kazdo wouldn't stand up to anything you could call a war, but the region just so happens to be starting one. Once it begins, every spy will have made contact with Kazdo. How will those nations sitting on the fence regard the Sarkas within the territory?
Alright, you're a pessimist. Good. So am I. So part 2 of the plan. The liches hanging back in Kazdo have formulated the plans. The plans to break the place up. If Teresa's fails, Kazdo will immediately be split into pieces. Maybe a dozen or more. Taking their affiliated residents, as per the apportioned clan units, off to hide deep in the barrens. Route planning, balanced production, and ensuring Kazdo becomes a nomadic city isn't without meaning. To the Sarkas, the enmity of the rest of mankind is a catastrophe. Kazdo will greet another age of exile. Again with the exile, what kind of crap is this? As if we're not exiles already. Did I miss some nomadic city where we all live happy lives sipping afternoon tea, watching the catastrophe clouds roll by?
The Sarkas are strongly united at this point. Not at all the way I hoped, but purely in terms of endpoint, Teresa's has done it. But unity could mean more than just another vengeful massacre.
Despite the unity being founded on hatred and war, that's no easy task, Hoderer, my brother. Kazdo was more than a city, it's every person who calls it home. In the original plan, Kazdo didn't need that many inhabitants, and they wouldn't let us take that many anyway.
We have to end this war in Victoria, the sooner the better. If we can't take back hate, then the least we can do is turn it into fuel to cast the supports of Kazdo. And every life, to the Kazdo of the future, may well be vital.
Easily said for you.
We just touched on a method for moving supplies and people over long distances. That might be what we've been after this whole time, what serves as the military commission's lifeline in Lindinium. I'll find it and seize it. It was able to bring us Lindinium, so it can take us home too. Before everyone's buried 6 feet under.
You aren't certain to succeed. You're just a mercenary.
A place to call home. Somewhere you can always return to.
Teresa, all this time I've been trying to keep that name separate from this war. Her Highness, how can a war just like before let anyone rest in peace? I bet it's just some diversion by that Teresa's bastard. He killed Her Highness and he's still blaspheming her. I'll make him beg forgiveness on his hands and knees. And once he's done, then I'll turn his skull into fireworks. Finding you was the right choice. I'll take your plans as a stance of Babel survivors and inform the liches.
Thank you.
So, like wondering what kind of interaction between W and Teresa would be like? And also just like Amiya? Well, first W wants to beat up the brother first. And then she'll be like, hey girl, long time no see. But you blew up my cube. How do you want me to get back on foot?
8 kilometers northwest, there's a Sarkas transport camp. Go and steal their car. Need us to help?
Forget it. I don't want her catching me again and finding out I've been making deals with you on the sly. So good luck to you, and may you still be alive to make good on your promise after meeting her. Simple, just go and steal a car, of course.
Her? Hold on. Are you guys getting this familiar feeling? What are you talking about?
What am I talking about? I have no idea. Damn it, Hoderer should be the one saying moody crap like this. But still, what's bugging me? Not far off, there's someone sitting on a mountain peak, just on the edge of where the original illusion vanished. She's just sitting there like she doesn't have a care in her heart. Her long pink hair draped over her shoulders, as it always was. And that look in her eyes, that sorrowful. I look away. How is this happening? How? No, that's no illusion. The moment I saw her, I knew it wasn't. That's her.
It be she.
Your Highness? She's gone. I want to reach out to... No, forget it. Maybe I should save it for next time. Besides, she couldn't have been real anyway. She just really looked like her, an indistinguishable forgery, able to fool almost any pair of screwy, messed up eyeballs. Never mind, it's denial. Then again, denial is understandable.
Anguish hangs o'er.
All this isn't too scary. And away we go. It'd be cute if it really is her. Though I doubt Teresa's will let her walk off that far. Heck, it's probably just the slime boy. The fog grows thicker. The entire forest seems to swim in it. Logos, why are you so pretty? I can't wait to summon you someday. I mean, look at him. So incredibly pretty. I'll confess, I'm not so familiar with Kazuo at all. By the end of the Banshee's court's part in the war 200 years ago, I was gone from that city. It was in the convalescence of the Banshees I came of age. I'd asked my mother why, being one of our 6 heroes, she would choose to leave Kasdel, the city she once fought to the bitter end for. My mother issued no response at the time. She plucked a few reeds from the riverbank and wove a necklace for me. Their stems twisted about each other, head to tail to head. It was beautiful, and I treasured it in the most genuine sense. Yet very soon, it withered and faded, and fell to scattered pieces. My mother told me how this was the Banshee's most traditional art form. We weave song and incantation, just as we weave necklaces of grass. But now we had the entire convalescence. They needed not be foraged, needed not be bothered, and so year after year they grew forever. We Banshees sang our elegies, but the elegies were not supplication of the end. Rather, they were anticipation of new life. There is a sarcasm's need not to hold a dead city standing, but to grow. Time to go exploring. Ooh, it's very foggy here.
This is a highly disconcerting environment, Doctor. We were in the thick of a forest only moments ago. What lay before us became nothing alike as the fog settled in. A convalescence.
Is this all an illusion, Logos?
The doctor is considerably wounded, but their tone of voice is steadied once more.
Ascalon silently carries a still unconscious Amiya, taking the very front. She remains as ever, lips sealed, but I can sense that her current silence is a more bleak one than before. I remember, at the time of her hurried rendezvous with me, that flicker of an expression I found hard to discern. Mirages are spin from nothingness. Their scenes are mere fictions in the mind, bound to return to nihil, no matter how lifelike. But this place is not. Everything here truly did exist once upon a time. Constructing a mirage like this requires not just intelligence, but information. But time and space. It's too difficult. A bone whistle? I know this convalescence. I've always loved it.
Yes, the whistle of the Banshees. It doesn't necessarily entail or ingenium arts. When we were young, we learned it by the riverside. We'd sit among the underbrush and wait still until Great Fin gobbled small bug until Foul Beast snatched up Great Fin. That is when the bone whistle is played.
What's the scenery doing here? How do we get out?
I'm trying. Originium Arts hasn't this power. The power this is of can only be something more ancient. But it shouldn't have come about in this battlefield at this moment, not on Londinium's periphery. Everything we're seeing and hearing could pass for real. Our squad is not in good condition. We need to up our vigilance.
At the convalescent's other end, there seems to stand someone dead still, silent.
Mother.
Logos, what's wrong? Oh, hello, what's up? Well, Dr. Misaki is lost. But now we found Logos' mother.
Nothing. I say try to tear this landscape apart directly. It carries some risk, but it's the best solution. I don't know whether it's safe to leave this place, Ascalon.
Ascalon nods, handing a meal over to the doctor, who strains to hold her up by the arm that isn't hurt. No worries, I got this. I can carry Amia. Or lift her up a tiny bit. Ascalon, master assassin, vanishes in a blink into the mist. I shut my eyes and prepare, conceiving of destruction, imagining reconstruction. But the figure appears again, this time atop one of the convalescent's crests. She seems to be looking at me, but she's as if a thin slice of the past, stuck frozen in some older time. I know that crest full well. When I was young, I would practice incanting here until twilight fell, and she would show up behind me. Oh, it's not too weird seeing the doctor. It's fine. I would never know when exactly she'd come, but she would just stand there, and as she does now in this mirage. And once I exhausted myself, we would go home together. I feel for my bone whistle. It's cold as bill ice, just like the time I was first given it. Not long ago, I sounded it to the closure of Damasti's court. But the time before that was back in this convalescence. Mother?
I'll be leaving tomorrow for Babel. Yes. You're master of the Elegia court now. Remember to send Her Highness Teresa my greetings. It still doesn't feel real to me, Mother. I'm too young to be a master of a royal court. Now, what makes you say that? Anyone could see how remarkable you are. Keep this safe. Oh, your bone whistle. I've tuned it for you, and given it a royal court crest. And of course, a kiss full of magic too.
Ooh, Mama can bless things with kisses. Mother, will you bless me?
All right. Simply sound it, and all the Sarkats will know it as the will of will of the Nell.
I like your design, it's very pretty. Though I wonder how it's like seeing through the veil.
Mother, what should a lord of the Banshees do? Do what you believe you must. I once talked to you about those ravings of mine. The fettered Sarkats have no escape, just as the necklaces you used to weave together for me became naught but pieces in the end. Yet what fetters us is our identity, to what we belong. The royal court and perhaps the king of Sarkaz. But still, you bestow this aspect on me. Our rotting bones will never again be given new life, till annihilation reach its destination. And yet, that is the rule. We sound the knell for it, for others, for ourselves. But it is a necessary burden. You feel our time-worn inheritance has been reduced to naught but a stepping stone to new life. Then it is for you to ascertain that yourself. Supposing that does not change your mind. Then from death comes new life. I rest the whistle to my lips. Exhale. My, now, well done. Our tender little lord of banshees, for whom does your first fledgling knell toll? For myself, for the royal court that would rot past the future all.
Since we see Mama, I wonder what Dad looks like. The sarcasm must write a new verse.
What meaning is there in a stagnant landscape?
With the words, power bursts forth. Ooh, bright light. Oh, are we here too?
This is the vampire's witchcraft, but the vampire could never construct the landscape we were just in. I fear there's some other presence helping him.
What is the vampire planning to do with these art circles? Is he planning on summoning something with those circles? Laboring to keep Amiya supported, the doctor lifts their head with some worry, taking in the giant sanguine-colored crystals.
The loop here isn't even complete, but some of its symbols are legible. Purify. It is trying to affect your blood somehow, affect Sarkaz's blood. This artistry is tied to the Sarkaz's power.
The doctor gives no response, seemingly lost in thought. Hey!
Heh.
They finally ran out of patience. I detected them long ago, a handful of boorish wanderers. The derangement of our space-time was making their figures. And now, with the mist abated, they finally show themselves. Already, the silver glint in Ascalon's hand has cut across their necks, while bone-writ incantation blocks their attack. A clump of dirt, it's crude as a child would be. Wait. I told you they were real. Those ghosts were the real deal.
Ah, it is a child.
Is that you? Does the doctor know the Sarkaz girl? You're that, a doctor, right? I saw you once in the munitions factory in Highbury. What are you doing here? And the knocked out courteous and Sarkaz?
You were supplying goods to refugees in Norport.
How do you know that? Don't let that slip. I was just, I don't think that courteous girl's looking too good, is she? And your arm is all... I'm gonna guess you guys are fine hanging out with these Sarkaz? Yeah, why not?
I think we ended up back where we came, but we did do it for real this time. I've met enough haloed monster things for one day. This is out of whack.
Paprika, what are you talking to ghosts for?
One in a hood, one unconscious bunny, and a Sarkaz.
No, driver, they're real.
As in real?
The Sarkaz steps up to me, skeptically looking me up and down. I can tell with a glance that she's never taken the battlefield. Her hands are calloused in the wrong places. Just now, did the young Paprika girl call her driver?
Hello.
Blag!
Minor, come check this out. It's real. Your clothes must have cost some money, didn't they? Maybe take a closer look. No, never mind. Trust your Ursus bumpkins not to know. Quit it with the I'm from Casdale already, shopkeep. Like you matter. All you do is run a grocery store. Oh wait, forgot. You sold your store so you could come pick fights out here. Ha! Shape up a little. Stop getting carried away in front of people. Hello, haha. You may have met me in Castle before. My grocery store was a fairly popular one.
Ooh, grocery store. It's fun seeing different point of views, especially W's. W's is the best so far.
The man nicknamed Shopkeep rubs his hands, eyeing me with ingratiation. His dagger is equipped with an auxiliary Originium Arts apparatus, never an affordable piece of kit. A shame it's all new, dagger itself included. You must be part of the royal court, yes. I can tell by your regalia. I take it you're the child of soil and stone. So he hasn't the first clue about any court at all. I am the Banshee. A boy Banshee? I thought Banshees are meant to be all girls. Correct. Huh, never heard of that. Never heard about any boy Banshee while I was in Kashimirish. Not that I mean to be impolite or, you know. Paprika, you're friends with celebrities like him and you never told us?
No, I don't know if we know each other.
Are you moving things?
Inside the truck, I notice an uncovered spot where a few blood-streaked crystals are poking out.
Where are you transporting these goods to? Aren't these ritual materials?
I don't really know how to explain. We're just patrolling along our route map, because some art circles might be a little damaged, and we need to repair them. The doctor makes brief eye contact with me. I have some inkling. Asarka's truck, a vehicle that can take us through the battlefield. With Amiya's current condition, we won't be rendezvousing with the main unit on foot. I can sense Ascalon all set to go in the shadows, ready to strike at the amateur squad before us. But evidently, the doctor already has a better idea.
Noble Banshee, sire. We won't cross the battlefield alive at this rate. I beg you, just let us go!
Oh, the acting.
I can comprehend the doctor's gist, but I'm really not well versed when it comes to this.
Come on, improv skills.
I commandeered Transport Squadron. We're on a special mission of the utmost nature, but we're assailed en route. For your assistance, I will memorialize you forevermore. Haha, it'd be an honor to serve a member of the Royal Court, Your Highness. It's just, being memorialized by a death-tolling banshee doesn't seem like much of a fortune, could you? Here is your payment.
Understandable, they want money.
Thank you. Coins that mechanic stuffed in my bag. Haha, thank you, sire.
But our transport duty...
I'll explain to your superiors afterwards. A special mission? Why bring these two outbloods along? They are my captives.
Captives? But you, Okay, but once this is over, you guys are gonna come see General Manfred with me. For now, we'll go sort out some positions. The doctor comes to my side, voice grave.
Logos, figure out a car for Ascalon 2. The Confessori attack was no simple one. They and the vampire were working together, but in the process, they estranged Amiya from the ship. Doctor, are you worrying? Closure and the Self-Salvation Corps' troops don't have any suitable combat personnel between them. Kelsey's wounded, Shining's powerful, but the Confessori are sure to have methods prepared just for her. I understand. The state Amiya's in may not be curable with medication. What she needs most right now, before she comes to, is not to fall into the Confessori's line of sight. Operating under the squad support will be safer. I'll get Ascalon to back up Kelsey. We've got you here. Besides...
The doctor looks at the sanguine art circles. A pit forms in their stomach.
Say no more, I know far too well. These crystals aren't just simple originium.
They're magical crystals. Delicious crystals. Actually, no, I probably get a stomachache from them. Never mind. And okay, no fear, no fear, no fear. No fear, no fear, no fear, no fear. I just gotta get my boy out.
Actually, no, I screwed up. Oopsies.
Oh, this is gonna just be annoying. It's okay, it's the story stage. I can redo it later if anything. There reigns no fear here. I can let some through, it's fine, it's fine. It's ease what it is. I'm just gonna place her right, like, out of the way, so then that way I don't gotta suffer too much. Good thunks. And now at this point it should be fine. At this point we can stall. Kind of, sort of. This floaty dude is scaring me a little bit. Floaty dude, stop it. No, floaty dude. Stop floating there menacingly.
I'm all stocked and clear.
But no fear, for real, for real. Shoot, I gotta bring a healer out soon. Like right now. Can you just like stop being so menacing like that? Like, for real, can you just stop?
ここは私に任せろ。
You're kind of worrying me. Why you must you be so stealthy? I don't like that. Or at least I can get rid of these goons. Man. The stealthy dudes are gonna bother me for
こ
real.
ちらチェン。時間には限りがあるんだ。
Can you stop being stealthy now? I see you. I see you right there.
ここでは何も起きていない。
I was hoping she'd reach. Oh wait, she can kind of reach them now. That's good. All is fine with the world. Phew! For the story. Oh, we're back here now. Do you know what the cruelest thing in the world is? Neither total darkness nor endless torment, nor a dark alley filled with murderers. It is when a gentle hand pulls you out of a nightmare, just as you thought it was over, and all the pain would come to an end, only for you to realize that salvation was just a cruel joke, a brief respite before falling further into the darkness. Even greater suffering is gazing upon you within a stone's throw, and you are powerless before such mockery. Delphine, do you want to join us? The Duke of Windermere's coffin is being transported to the approaching battleships. Some of the refugees have taken it upon themselves to organize the funeral procession in their gratitude. She keeps looking at the place where her mother had fallen, even though any trace of blood is long gone. I feel so bad for Delphine. It may not be a good idea to invite her now. I'm already starting to regret it. Can you thank them for me, Vina? I want to stay here a while longer. What did they say to you? Nothing. I'll just stay for a little longer and cool my head. The sword guards boarded the late arriving escort fleet. Most of them kept silent while the nobles panicked. A moment's weakness when I tried to help the soldier. The vampire reached out his hand, whether it was an obvious trap or not. Mother was wounded because of it. Broken formation and fallen soldiers, sword guards do not defend their duke. Their only goal is to fulfill their mission. But they face a foe powerful beyond their imagination. Delphine. The staff officers think that there was too much of personnel sentiment in the reckless operation. They never supported it. They must believe that I'm the reason Mother died. A hero should not die for the weak. And they're right. I gaze at the late arriving battleships, their standards flying high. For some reason, I'm reminded of Allerdale. I wonder how Allerdale's doing with the Steam Knight. Off in their crazy adventure. In the darkness.
I've cleaned your wounds as best as I can, Lady Delphine. This is all I can do with the limited amount of medicine available.
Thank you, Doctor.
I must go. The general staff have ordered all troops to report back. I left behind some things that belong to you. These are the Duke's gifts to you. And you have her sword. This may sound impudent, but I hope that you will come back to the ironclad Gallivay with us. Whatever the senior officers say, nothing can change the fact that you are the heir to the title of Duke Windermere.
I'll think about it. Right now, I just want some quiet.
How are things?
They took a bunch of people, but many more remain. So that rough mom really... Yes. Ironic, isn't it? The Duke has trained her officers well. Even now, the general staff of Windermere continue to plot the next course of action, according to the plan, but... What about Delphine? It seems like the snobbish officers are planning to abandon her. I don't know, I'm even worried what they might do to Delphine as the heir. She's not ready. Duke Windermere was a strong leader, her sword guards, her general staff. They all served the greater good of Victoria alone. But she herself, she made an admirable but reckless decision for the sake of her daughter. That decision saved a bunch of lives though, didn't it? I'm not criticizing her, I respect her. But it means that Delphine is being abandoned by what her mother, Duke Windermere, built on her own. Oh. What do we do now? They took some of the refugees. Can we really trust them? Do we follow the tales of the nobles in the coming battle? They didn't take everyone? That's not right. If this one ship could take everyone, there's no reason that so many battleships couldn't... Oh no, what's happening now? What's that movement? I thought the ship's engines were out. The window. Dust rises from the escort fleet that only just rendezvoused with us. They're sailing away. Delphine. She stands on the deck where her mother left this world, holding her mother's sword in her arms, as she did before I went below. The wind sweeps at her short hair. Her solitude makes her look even smaller than she is. What's going on? I grab her shoulder, only then does she come out of her stupor. I see none of the anger, fear, or sorrow that I expected to see. She's wearing barely any emotion at all. Only calm, flat disappointment, and a quiet so deep it is painful to see. They're gone. Her voice trembles a little, but still too calm. There are civilians down below waiting to see the Duke of Windermere's coffin off. Those bastards didn't mind running innocent people over.
What's going on? That wasn't part of the orders. Maybe there was a miscommunication. We still have a few good IFVs. We need to head back to Ironclad Galvey and get confirmation.
Pa. I've never gazed upon the tail of a battleship so intently. How ridiculous. Sheesh. The marks that rain of blood left on our clothes is a lingering reminder of the cruel attack. Several hours have passed since we left the Duke of Windermere's flagship. Bad news keeps coming. We did a head count as we left the ship. The doctor, Amia, and Ascalon were not there. We only had time to do a brief search, which came up empty. All I can do is keep faith in their strength, but for some reason, I think back to Amia's lean shoulders. Sorrow and helplessness are luxuries that this group can no longer afford.
Stop dawdling. I really can't go any further. I'll whip you if I have to. Get up. Stay with the armor if you want to live. I need to catch my breath, sir. I have a condition. No dawdling. This isn't just about your life.
Bunk.
Hands off. Norport hoodlum. I'm just carrying out my orders.
They're not trained soldiers. They've been at a forced march for 5 straight hours. They don't have any strength left.
Then they can lie down and die. We're trying to save their lives. Everything can still be salvaged if we make it back to Ironclad Galvey.
They need to stop and rest.
I said...
It's not just for them, it's for you too, Ensign. I know your condition. Not many soldiers were left behind, but I know almost all of you are infected.
Shut up!
I'll let it slide. This once. You're Duke Windermere's man. Do not let your actions defile her memory. Infection, a curse they fear more than any other. Catch up to the ship that abandoned them. Hide the growing black crystals under the bandage. Fool yourself.
I'm sorry, it's just... Don't say that blasted word! I'm fine. I said to keep a low profile on the Barons and avoid drawing Sarka's attention. Sir,
It's getting dark. The civilians trying to keep up with you need a rest, Lieutenant.
No, we continue with the march as planned. We can reach Hill 31 by midnight at our current pace. We'll reestablish communication with the Ironclad Galvey there. Only once we're in touch with the nomadic fortress are we truly safe. If we wait until morning, I doubt this group was ready to face the Sarkazand.
You're the ranking officer and the de facto commander here, and the ship's doctor. You know as well as I do that we're trying to catch a fast battleship with our own feet and a few tanks. I respect your decision, Lieutenant, but we don't even know why those battleships left. If they didn't respond to your hails at the time, why do you think the fortress will open its gates to us? I checked on the group. We have less than 3 companies of combat-effective soldiers and nearly 1,000 refugees following in tow. By the time the march that you had in mind is done, there'll be less than 20% left.
Vina right, listen.
He avoids my gaze. I mean 20% of your soldiers, and none of the refugees.
Sir!
Whisper. I need not hear what they're saying. I saw what happened. Someone bled his last in the long, silent wall of people. He left behind a long trail of blood mixed in with the mud. The lieutenant's silence hardly lasts 2 breaths.
Slow down a little. We'll keep going.
Idiot. Bonk. She's bonking them. They deserve to be bonked, though. My fist leaves its mark in his face. I heard a crisp sound. I think I dislocated his jaw.
Arg!
He quickly puts his jaw back in place. Must have dealt with this sort of thing a lot. Oh, he's used to being smacked.
You assaulted a soldier, hooligan. I could have you executed according to Victorian service law. You... Stand up. You could try to execute me, or we can keep going.
The fist is a solution that can only be used once in a while. Dagda, Morgan, and Indra stand in front of the soldiers on edge. The civilians surround us silently. It reminds me of how we used to fight turf wars on the streets.
Stand down. Do not open fire. They called you siege, didn't they? They were telling stories that you're actually highborn or something, and with that accent.
I'm a hooligan, leader of the Glasgow gang.
Fine, I don't care. Listen, I'm a soldier who has pledged his loyalty to the Duke of Windermere. My duty is to fulfill the mission handed down by my commander.
I'm waiting for you to wipe the blood from your mouth.
Give up. Your elbow is about to dislocate. Some sacrifices are acceptable in order to protect the many.
And just who are the many? Are you taking a good look at who you're leading? Frightened soldiers, silent civilians, and the infected, the wounded, the people standing around us. I'd had enough. I want to tell them, those who escaped hell in Norport. I'm still looking out for them. There's still someone who cares about them. Might makes right. Law of the streets, Lieutenant. I'm telling you now that they're going to make camp here, and they're going to rest. We must reconsider our course of action.
If we're cut off from the main force at Arknights Galway, everyone is going to die when we run into the Sorkas. Every last one.
Enough. Don't insult the memory of the Duke of Windermere anymore, Lieutenant Shearer. If you still think you're part of her army.
How could you?
Delphine clutches the hilt of her sword. It surprises me, even more than it surprises Lieutenant Shearer. He's surprised and angry. I'm suddenly reminded that he had provided medical aid to everyone on the ship before Arknights Galway abandoned us. Delphine, your clothes and the sword. A little big for me, isn't it? Aww. The presents. But I need all of you to hear me out. What a cool jacket and hat. Is Lieutenant leaving? Yes, they formed a small squad and picked up the tank in best condition. He can leave at any time. That squad will travel light and quick. They can reach the marked location before dawn. You put those clothes on. Maybe what they represent still means something to someone.
I've spoken to my troops, Lady Delphine. They will follow your orders until I return. For the last time, my lady, you're the heir to the Windermere. No matter what happens, you should come with us.
Sorry, but I must stay. This is my promise to the people. They need to know that Victoria has not abandoned them. They need this hope to keep going. We can only trust each other now. We must trust each other. If the departure of the escorts was just a misunderstanding or a mutiny by a few, then Arknights Galway will welcome us, whether I'm there or not. And if not... The lieutenant's eyelid twitches. Delphine's words are certainly subversive. My presence will not only make things worse, at least you'll live.
My lady, it is not my own hide that I'm concerned.
They let me go the first time, perhaps out of respect for my mother, perhaps out of a sense of pity. But they won't give me a second chance.
I trust my comrades and the officer's loyalty to the Duke. Please take this locating beacon, Lady Delphine. I promise to bring back good news. As for you,
The man gazes calmly at me. I clench my fist, preparing for a sucker punch. I like that preparation.
you've got some hard knuckles. Take care of Lady Delphine.
Cheers, Lieutenant. Yeah, the origin of the clothes is sad. It's a present from Mom and Dad. But she does look cool. She looks very cool. I love the jacket and hat.
See, we checked up on the refugees from Norport. Perhaps the Duke of Windermere had given orders behind our backs. Things were chaotic when we boarded the ship, and we couldn't find the ones who executed the order. Regardless, their screening was impeccable. There's no sign of infection amongst the refugees in the group. But now, I look in the direction where the lieutenant departed. Of course. Many soldiers who fought amidst Sarkaz witchcraft are showing acute infection symptoms. These soldiers got a reprieve fighting the Sarkaz. How could their comrades just abandon them like that? It's an old military tradition, and not a strictly Victorian one. It's the same in Kazimierz, Ursus, Gaul. The infected are not allowed in camps. More conscientious commanders might put the infected in their own unit, and then send them on the most dangerous missions. But for the military, there's far too much uncertainty in the infected, and their uncontrolled hearts. Some must have resisted. No one ever succeeded. Looking back on history, the infected make up a relatively small portion of armies in times of war. Acceptable losses in exchange for stability in the front lines. It's even in the textbooks of the Royal Military Academy. It's just the honorable martyrs who died for the glorious foundation. Oh, it's him! Mr. Trilby Asher, here to instigate. Now, no need to get violent, ladies. I'm here to talk. First, let me make sure that the death of Her Grace Duke Windermere has nothing to do with the part of Victoria that I serve. In fact, I bring my sincerest condolences, Lady Delphine, my own position aside. I believe she glowed brighter than any hero in the Battle of the Four Emperors. But now, who will fight in the gap of her death that her death leaves behind? Who can step up to take her place in the grand strategic theater? Duke Wellington is an accomplished soldier, but we all know he has no intention of giving his all. Duke Castor has her hands full of coordinating everything. Frankly, the death of Duke Windermere is a big problem.
You sure got the news quickly, didn't you?
Well, it's my business to know. You'd be familiar with their line of work.
What are you here for? I suggest you think carefully about the next words coming out of your mouth.
Flowers for the hero, Lady Windermere, and a gift of rations and ammunition.
In exchange for?
You know full well, Your Royal Highness.
The scrap of metal known as the size of kings. To be honest, I have no use for this sword, personally. You want to trade, sure. My conditions are simple. Take that damnable stone of the sword of yours and bring it to the front lines, where the storm blows the fiercest, where the fire falls the hardest. You can get lost if your plan is to keep the sword safely in the rear, to prop up a tent for kings and nobles to drink tea beneath. If you really will bring this thing to the front, to the lines, and provide shelter for Victoria's warriors, citizens, and the poor souls who lost their homes. If it is a shelter for all, whether the son of a blacksmith or the daughter of a teacher, whether they take pay in the name of Victoria or carry weapons of their own making, then by all means you can have this piece of metal. Come to me with the stone of the sword, Trilby Asher. I promise that I will never fall behind you on the front lines, not by a single step.
Oh my, this is beyond my discretion. I'm just an envoy after all. Her Grace the Duke of Castor has the final decision.
Then go to your master. Come back to me once you have an answer from my dear aunt.
I'll do my best, Your Royal Highness Alexandrina. But this is just a promise on a personal level. What follows now is off the record, some personal opinions, not of Trilby Asher, but of Sir Suffolk Bellingham. A new voice is not necessarily a bad thing. You've taken in affected soldiers, well, and many more civilians, but the point stands. That's all good and fine, but it's not enough. You need an army, your own army. An army with a place for them.
I'm surprised. Perhaps it's a Castor trick. But he's encouraging me to form my own reunion. Okay, maybe he's not so bad after all.
Looks like you really did turn off your sound recorder. Can't do it for too long. Colleagues start getting suspicious, you know. My grandmother was executed after getting infected in the War of the Four Nations. When she left, she told me with a laugh that there were less than 3% chance. That there was a less than 3% chance of getting Erypathy in battle. It was only when I inherited the title and looked through the records in the archives that I learned. The 3% figure has been in use for centuries. It has never changed, even though we're using more Originium machines and more complex Originium arts in modern warfare. Perhaps you haven't noticed because all you can see is a small corner of the battlefield. Certainly, the Dukes haven't noticed because they have their sights set way too far away. But I have. The infection problem in the Victorian army is serious. Serious on an unprecedented scale. Everyone exercises restraint in a conflict between civilized nations. No one wants their camp to be filled with ticking, living time bombs, or sees a dirty city covered in Originium dust. But now, our enemy's the Sarkas. If you really mean to do the siege, then it has the potential to be a good thing for your reputation, for my career, perhaps, even for our country. Thanks for the concern, but my friends and I know the infected better than you do. We'll be fine. Very well. Oh, by the way, I have some scrap equipment here that nobody wants or cares about. Leftovers, you know. You can have them. It's all trash after all. Farewell, then.
How much do you believe him?
I would rather believe that even someone like him could not stay out of this conflict.
What did he leave behind? A recording and coordinates? The sound. What this? Bzz. Need support. Chetley. Surrounded. Tempest platoon. Requesting aid. Uh-oh. Well, time to go there. The aid is coming. No worries, my dude. Okay, let me stare at the map. Oh, only... actually, not too scary. It'd be fine. Again, because it's just... story stage. Real stage, then I'd be suffering, but story stage, fine. Where are we now? I was the first to see the scout. While I scouted the silent government buildings next to the plaza on the other bank, his dead body drifting in the water, still grabbing the reeds by the bank. It seems he never gave up trying to survive. Oof. Oh, it's Horn Squad's name. Aw, man. Not far from him, his journal lay quietly in a waterproof pouch, the last entry written just before his departure. I hope most of them are fine. I would say all are fine, but we know it's not going to be that way. I volunteered for this mission to deliver the SOS. I won't come back whether I succeed or fail. No one will survive, crossed out. Oof. His journal indicates that the defenses of Chetley are in dire straits. See the crossing on the other side? The ferries have been sunk. Horn Squad has been completely cut off from the outside. Ah, there, now it's mentioning Horn. Okay. 2 days ago, this soldier tried to cross the river under the cover of darkness, but was shot by the Sarkas patrolling the opposite bank. There was no word from the other troops that were garrisoned in the city hall. The soldier's journal made me uneasy. 23 soldiers, 2 squads. Other than the city hall, silent in the darkness, the rest of the buildings around the plaza had been reduced to smoldering ruins by artillery fire. At least, the tragedy hammers one thing: no one can truly escape death on the battlefield. The Camas River runs to the east and north side of the plaza. The crossing to the east is under Sarkas control. The lights coming from the south should be the Sarkas camp. They've holed up in the city hall for more than 2 weeks. If the journal is accurate, the last bridge that connects the city hall to the residential district on the other side of the north bank was attacked no less than 2 days ago. It is possible that they're cut off from all supplies. Out of ammo, out of food. What do we do? If we have the time to worry about that here, we might as well just cross the river and see for ourselves. We can't just cross without a plan, Hana. If we're discovered... Actually, Hana's words make me think. We've been unable to reach Horn Squad by radio. Restoring communications is our first priority. Me, Hannah, Morgan, and Dagda will swim across the river and see what the situation is inside City Hall. That's too dangerous, Vina. You realize that they're the best people for this job. The only people for this job. We're Rhodes Island operators. Small squad spec ops is our game. And we're Norport gangsters who know how to get into a place and get back out again unnoticed. We have a few volunteer soldiers and civilians who want to offer their support for the legendary Tempest platoon. But there are only so many people we can bring. We need people to stay behind for defense, with Lieutenant Shearer gone. I hardly hear what Vina is saying. Is this a bad joke by Trilby Asher, or is this how the battlefield is? The call for help, deciding whether to answer, and the sacrifices that must be made to help. The laws of the battlefield. I know what you're thinking, Delvine. There are personal sentiments involved, but I can't ignore the SOS. They're good soldiers, and they'll be of help if they're still alive. Alright, I trust your judgment. Stay behind with these men, Delphine. We need to keep watch. If you lose our signal, take them and get out of here. Alright. Come back alive. I believe in them. They'll be fine. Okay. We're on the bank. Keep your eyes out for any patrols. 2 Sarkas standing guard at the crossing. 1 to Hana's 3 o'clock. Another in the building. Roger. Draw the attention of the first. And Hana and I will do this together. 3, 2, 1, go. The light in the window goes out. All is well? Wait, a foul beast? A black foul beast flies out of the hut at the crossing, flies a circle above, then heads towards the Sarkas camp. Vina! An agile shadow leaps across the moonlight from the roof of the hut and grabs a foul beast. Got it. You go, Dagda. A military foul beast. You spooked it, Hana. You spooked it, Hana. Sorry, I didn't notice. No signs of Sarkas. To the city hall. Lots of bodies in the plaza, but it's too dark to identify them. Ready to go in. I see the bridge that connects the residential district, but the barricades on the other side of the bridge are blocking the view. Go to the top of the city hall. Try to get a better vantage. Roger. The entrance has been boarded up. Over here, a gap has been blown in the west wall, wide enough for us to go in. Good. Do you see Horn Squad? Not yet. Stop! Something's moving! Radio silence. There's a crossbowman at the building watching the residential district. Allegiance unknown. Watch my sign.
Sarkas profanity! What's that sound of this frequency? Who? Bzz.
The signal goes silent. I did not hear anything from them for the next 10 minutes. How many men in the building? What's the situation with the surrounded troops? Has Vina's group been discovered? I'm completely in the dark. Crouched in the dirt on the banks, I feel my heart beat harder with every throb. The heartbeats merge into the river, resonating with the flow, growing faster and stronger. I see you. They've been discovered? Someone's waving from the top of the building. The moon at her back, it's... Vina? See, they're fine. Siege here.
Horn. Tempest platoon, do you hear me?
We've got your SOS. We've confirmed your location. The bridgehead at the residential district on the other side. We're coming to help. Bzz, bzz. I hear the cheers coming from the radio. They did it!
Sorry about that. The men are excited for our first bit of support.
The first bit of support in like a year and a half. That's... Ugh.
We should be able to talk normally now. Horn, we can help your squad evacuate. Thanks, but we're not evacuating. There's something in this town that the Sarkas want, and they won't abandon their assault. The nearest Victorian battalion that received our SOS will arrive within 1 week. We must guard the entrance until then, and ensure the safety of the survivors of Chetley.
Radio noise.
We voted on this. The decision was unanimous, including Misery. Much obliged.
Dead silence. She sounded like she was talking about the talking about the weather. A vote on a battlefield. There are only two choices you get to vote for, life or death. Vina seemed lost in thought. What decision would I make? What decision would Mother make?
Then, if you choose to gamble, I have an even bolder plan. Care to hear it?
What'd be the plan? I don't support Vina because she's the heir to the throne. She's brave, competitive, hates losing. Some would call her reckless. But I count on her to get us there, to find a way out of hell. I have to believe in her. I have to believe to get out of this hell. I can't even bring myself to think about what happened that day. Focus, Delphine, focus. The Overwatch mission is ended. Time to meet up with them. This is fine.
It's almost dawn. How go the preparations?
The windows and doors are being reinforced. Misery's been cleaning up enemy sentries.
I'll continue to keep watch on the outskirts. I'll get in touch if there are any changes at all. I mean, changes at the camp. Thank you, Misery. We were supposed to meet up at Brentwood when we split up in Londinium. Why are you here at Chetley? Misery noticed something unusual when we passed by. We got here in time to see a massacre and we couldn't just walk away. Are you sure you want me to be in charge? You're a professional soldier, Horn. And Delphine had elite military training. I know what you guys did at the Mausoleum of Kings. You brought back that sword for us. Just a piece of metal. A piece of metal? It's Victoria's realm blade. Stop thinking about the size of kings. This might disappoint you, but it won't bring any miracles. We're the only ones that we can count on. And it's enough. You're right. You've proven as much. We don't have the personnel, condition, or resources to implement complex tactics. What we need for the coming fight is courage and determination. In the face of disaster, the human spirit is much more important than any legend or artifact. Prove it, Siege. All right.
We believe in you, Siege.
Most of us are not professional soldiers. We'll just tell them to take the high ground and shoot any enemy that approaches. The few of us here will form a response team to take out any sarcasm that gets past. Horn and Skull will continue to defend the bridgehead position, create a fire zone. They will continue to fend off the sarcasm trying to get across the bridge, as per the original plan. This building is the first line of defense. We'll be in the thick of things. All we need to do is defend the one building. How hard can it be? The defense of Chemist River. Hey, that was what I was going to say. It would make a great movie. Quiet, Hana. Patrol approaching from 1 o'clock. 100 meters out, at the ready. Shall we fire, Siege?
Vina's hands were trembling. Excitement, fear, or both? I do not know. My hands are cold, almost frozen. 7 days. Will the Duke's troops really come? What if we fail? What if more Sarkas notice? I keep going over the possibilities in my head.
Now, open fire!
Sirens start blaring in the Sarkas camp the moment the patrol goes down. There is no time to think. The defense has begun. We got this, totally.
My brothers will tell you apart, standing on my corpse. Sarcasm, profanity. Ugh.
I prefer to be the one doing the tearing, if that's all right with you. Sarkaz. Once again, I think back to what happened that day. No, I can't.
It's almost 90 seconds, Delphine. Ready to pull back.
Roger. Bentley's down. I'll fill in the gap in the minefield. Mines are too precious to just leave out there.
You have fire support from the 3rd floor.
The underground passage that connects the City Hall's basement to the bridge has been cleared. Now the wounded have some space.
You took a nick, Morgan. Are you okay?
Not good enough to hold a knife, but I can coordinate things in the back. What about your side, Hana?
You're asking the experts of destruction.
You're asking the expert of destruction. I could smash a hole in the ceilings without any extra equipment. And we have wooden ladders set up so that we can move quickly between the floors.
Good. We can't have another situation like yesterday.
but we couldn't get to Dogda in time. I filled in the gap in the minefield. Bentley's still breathing, so I'm taking him back to the basement for treatment. Is Dogda awake? Awake, but she can't be moved yet. She's been trying too hard. I'll do my best to care for her. Oh, feel better soon, Dogda. Is there any news from the Sarkis camp? They may be planning something else after the assault on the building failed. Can you find any more mines to expand the minefield?
I'm afraid not. Our Sarkis friend's mercenary band isn't so easy to find. We'll have to count on my static. Witchcraft, static. Signal, disrupt, static.
Something disrupting the signal?
It's...
Noise. Run. Uh-oh. I hear a long howl in the distance. A strong sense of unease suddenly comes over me. The air has become filled with malice. Okay, time to run.
Nope, the heck out of here.
Nope. Well... Delphine? Delphine, you good? You're finally up. My head hurts. You didn't pull out in time while rescuing the wounded yesterday, and got caught up by the blast of them test-firing the war altar. Yesterday? War... altar? Where's Ben?
Huh. Looks like we both missed a lot.
My back still hurts. Morgan sucks at stitching. Oh, Ben's alive. Who brought me back?
Hana, she saw that you were still outside and jumped out from the 3rd floor to drag you back in.
Dang, Hana!
She just woke up herself. She's gone off to support Vina.
These are the wounded? I walk through the underground passage, now filled with wounded personnel. Dozens of eyes turn towards me. Many of them still have dried blood upon them.
It's pretty bad. We need to hurry. The mines are pulling their weight. 2 of the war altars have had their undercarriages disabled, and the rest have stopped. They've stopped their advance. We can bombard the position you marked at any time.
Careful! The war altars are still charging. They haven't abandoned the assault yet.
Alright, listen up, you Burks.
The next round of bombardment is about to begin. Anyone still on the 1st and 2nd floors, get your arses up to the 3rd floor.
That thing can only shoot so high. I believe that its witchcraft core is powered by its operator, the altar itself acting only as a medium. So it'll blow itself up if its witchcraft core is destroyed when fully charged? In theory, but I've never seen it in action personally. I can't guarantee.
That's good enough. I'll go up to the roof to look for an opportunity. The only way to approach the core is from above. Can you distract the operator for a little while when the altar's activated? Every second helps.
Will do.
Vina. I stand at the staircase to the 2nd floor, dumbfounded. It takes me some time to realize that the pile of rubble without the left side wall is a city hall that we've been defending for the better part of a week. The carnage on the plaza is in plain view without a need for windows or portholes. Amidst the ruins, the red crystals of the war altars shine an eerie red in the rays of dawn. The metal skeleton reflecting an ominous light. It seems to whisper, gaze upon blood, gaze upon decay, gaze upon death. This is what Mother had done for so long. And this is the first time I thought of her in days. Oh, we're not fighting yet. Welcome back, Delphine, Dogda. The Sarkis had deployed these weapons en masse?
I don't think so. I believe it was developed by the Military Commission in Victoria. The design is still very rough around the edges. Delphine, you look reasonably well for someone who just woke up from being knocked unconscious. Morgan has been taking care of you two with one hand.
Hana! Thanks, Morgan and Hana. Sorry about the trouble.
It was a piece of cake.
Alright, everybody, listen. I want rid of those altars, and for that I need help. I need bait, someone to stay here and keep those things firing.
Sounds like a job for me.
I can do it too. This is no time to be acting tough. I know better than anyone else here how terrifying those things are. Your hand's still injured, Morgan. I'll be the one to work with Hana.
I need someone else on standby to take over the attack if I don't succeed. Misery can only buy so much time for us. I'll do it.
What about me, Vina?
Morgan, keep an eye on everyone.
Okay, sounds like a plan. Vina's plan is a simple one. Wait for the altars of fire, smash the core, cause a chain reaction. All we need is an opportunity, and the opportunity has come. They take an aim. The mouse is sickening. They could fire at any time.
Not exactly a great feeling to be in that thing's crosshairs. Misery. Whenever you're ready, do it.
Red. The color on the deck flashes back before my eyes. The demonic eye in the altar peers at me. It is averted by a silver arc. The dagger rips open the necks of a file of Sarkaz artillerymen, leaping back joyfully into Misery's hand. Their hands slow for a moment as they reach for the core, continuing their movements from before they died under the pull of inertia. A hammer falls from the sky, impacting lightly with the red wave. Ooh! Bang! Vina's knocked back into the building like a comet. No! Vina! Have a second. The altar activated faster than anyone expected. The hammer embeds itself in the broken wall. I can't see anything in the dust and smoke. Watch out, the replacing artillerymen are preparing to fire again. The hammer is gone by the time I wipe the gravel from my eyes. A figure climbs out the other wall swiftly, the hammer pulling her up like a pickaxe, the building trembling under every blow. Dagda. Dagda grabs a hand that stretches out from within the light. Brick and stone crack and break under Vina's heels. She leaps into the sky. The red wave has begun to build. Oh, this would be really, really epic yet terrifying seeing this animated.
Everyone, take cover!
Get down, Morgan! I look up in the storm. She walks upon the rays of dawn, her golden hair burning. She raises her hammer high and it becomes one with the sun. The wave is torn apart, rampant power streaking towards the core. Dang, she's a total badass. Ooh, bright light. I lose my voice. All that remains is a light that stabs at my eyes. Vina, Vina! The elders are still exploding, look out! She's fainted! Damn, the metal shards got into her chest! Someone help me out! Bring her back, don't let originium dust into the wounds. The Sarkaz are retreating. Hana, look, over there. Battleships, reinforcements? Really? That's the standard of Duke Godaldin. It's over. It's over! We bloody made it, we did! Ben, look, we're saved! Ben? Those damnable devils are trying to run! After them! Uh-oh. I should add another entry to the Scout's journal. We survived. In memory of 7 fallen heroes. Abigail of Norport, civilian. Alexandra of Chetley, civilian. Henderson of Osterig, soldier. Bentley of Lincardine, soldier. Unidentified body. Unidentified body. Unidentified, illegible. Go, hey, reinforcements came! Or at least I hope they are, if not, oh! Oh, pain and suffering. Ooh, wait a second. Oh! It looks like there isn't that evil exploding thingy. I like that.
Ew, what is that? Blood spawn. Kill it with fire.
Disgusting. Get out of town. Okay, over here. I gotta put mud rock down the other side to help defend. And that should be fine. Kinda, sort of. Yeah, at this point, it's all good in the neighborhood. Okay, over here. And then I gotta start bringing out other... Ooh, they're slowly coming, but haha, joke's on them. I can do that. Hey. Okay, in this case, I'll put over here. It looks good. And then I need someone else pointing upward. She should put upwards. Actually, right over here seems... how do I want to do this? Over here seems good enough. And then I should bring out a healer. You know, healers are good. Healers make you feel good. Okay. That looks pretty good so far. And yeah, Delphine's definitely part of the gang now, but I feel bad for the way that she became a part. Though, it's by her own choice at least. What is it? Okay, over there, got rid of that scary looking thing. It looks more intimidating than the regular worms. I did not appreciate that. Okay, just a couple more. And of course it's worms. Ta-da! Stare. No one can be told what a battlefield is. You have to see it for yourself. My friends and I spent a lot of time in Norport's video shop watching old movies. Many of them war movies. They weren't story of heroes. They were story of heroes, but also stories of terror depicted by directors with a sadistic streak. I remember that the four of us all had nightmares at night. Even now, I seem to be drifting in a dream. We took on a few soldiers who were still breathing when we passed through that valley. Oh, and the survivors have caught up to our column. They're all infected, as they should be, after spending a night in a corpse-filled crater. You did disinfect properly, didn't you? You could have gotten active originium dust on you. Where are we, Hana? I'm a little... Don't worry, I've experienced it with large-scale active originium zones from my time in County Hillock, when we took the cleanup according to SOP. Yeah, standard operation procedures. The soldiers were conscripts under the Duke of Ashworth. They said that their company simply pulled out after the battle without rescuing the wounded or cleaning up the battlefield. Wow. They're just like, okay, my shift's over, time to leave. Horn, is Hana angry at me because I acted on my own? Why is she ignoring me? He said that he had a friend who had been crying for help by a shallow puddle all night, couldn't turn himself over because his legs were injured. He had drowned by the time we found him. The puddle was ankle deep. He would have survived if someone had just flipped him over. Oh, that sucks. I examined the area. Looks like they marched into a royal court trap. Some Sarkaz mercenaries must have sacrificed themselves by acting as bait. There's something on my chest. I can't breathe. Morgan? I feel something hot rolling in my chest. But how could they have gone down without a fight? That's not surprising. Other than the strongest dukes, professional soldiers make up only a quarter of the armies of the other ducal armies at best. Most Victorian soldiers are conscripted, sent to battle after only a few months of basic training on how to use a crossbow or arts unit. Frankly, if not for this war, the officers and soldiers may never have spoken to each other their entire lives. Vina wouldn't like to hear it. I hate this. How could you trust your back to someone whom you don't trust? Why does nobody hear me? I feel the taste of iron in my mouth, something boiling, rushing up my throat. Mother never answered my questions. She said I would find the answer someday. Arg. Vina! Take it easy, Morgan. My neck. I can't breathe. Sorry, got excited. You'd been unconscious for 2 days. You were running a fever, at least the wound in your chest was healing well, otherwise we would have been even more worried. Where are we? We aren't in Chetley anymore, are we? They're silent. What happened? Maybe I should explain. We pulled out 2 days ago. We're back to our original encampment. At Horn's advice, we pulled out as quickly as possible before the Duke of Godalden's fleet entered Chetley, avoiding direct contact with the reinforcements. Horn? We have a lot of complicated circumstances. It's going to cause a lot of complications if we establish official communications with the Duke's troops. I've talked about this with Misery, and the others support what we're doing. But we still have troops formally under the command of Duke Windermere. Their military idea has expired, and there's high risk of friendly fire. Well, not so much expired as no longer recognized. No need to mince words about the nobles' dirty deeds. It's the same deal as gangs fighting for territory. Angel's right. Since when did the war become like this? We could give help to where we can see, but what about the places beyond? What's the situation? Some have chosen to join Duke Godalden's forces and continue the fight. Godalden's officers didn't have say about anything. Didn't even say anything about the infected. The majority have chosen to stay with us, however. They trust us, or should I say they trust you. We won! Morale's really high right now. They're even joking about the old conflicts now. We did it. Your plan worked. We made it. It's very possible that no one will ever know the sacrifices we made. It's just one small victory in a greater war. I look at Delphine's tired face. A great burden has weighed upon her heart ever since she was left behind by the battleships. But now I see a rare smile on her face. But we saved Chetley, Vina. Yes, we did. My brain tells me that I should be relieved or happy. But I can't do it. I'm afraid to know how many stay behind in that building, never to leave it. Everything that happened there seems like a dream. Is this what victory feels like? It's so weighty. Would things have gotten so bad if everyone was fully committed to fighting for Victoria from the very beginning? No, they all firmly believed that they were fighting for Victoria. It's the other way around. Things are already spiraled out of control. Therefore, we're fighting for ourselves now. Siege, one of the survivors from Chetley has brought us a surprise. His family collected Gaulish artifacts, and his father once picked up a little Victorian object from Lingonus's former route. It wasn't anything valuable, so it has been sitting in the warehouse for a long time. He gave it to us before we left as a gift of gratitude, and Horn recognized it immediately. Here. This is an IFF beacon used in IVFs. It emits a signal that allows Victorian armies to identify the bearer's affiliation. It contains a military identification code? Yes. This black box belonged to the Victorian Army. I'm familiar with the symbol on it, but I thought that the unit that it once belonged to no longer exists, lost in the ruins of Gaul. The Exemplars. A unit of legend, predecessor to the Tempest platoon. This thing took a long journey back to Victoria. Back to us. Ooh, they got a fancy symbol now. The Exemplars. The present dukes may not recognize that ancient unit. This ancient unit, at best, it might prevent direct artillery strikes. But the more important thing is, the mission of the unit was inscribed inside the box. The Exemplars. We make miracles. Dang! That is cool. Huh. Consider it a gift from fate. What's this? The beacon that Lieutenant Shearer left us has picked up a signal. Shearer?
Lady Delphine, there's been a change of circumstances at the Ironclad Galvey. We're approaching your position now, ETA in 1 hour. Be prepared for unhappy news, and a guest who insists on seeing you.
Unhappy news? Come on, we just had a win, and now you're gonna ruin it, Shearer? I'll see how it is.
Your wounds! What a shoddy work of first aid! It may look like the wounds have closed, but the inflammation wasn't effectively treated, which explains the fever. With serious wounds like these, it's important that they're treated by a doctor and all vital signs monitored, reducing the chance of lingering after effects. You're fortunate that it was a piece of metal, not originium crystal. When you're dealing with Sarkaz's witchcraft devices, even the slightest touch could be infectious. Even if it wasn't directly caused by originium, there was a high risk of infection given the circumstances. It's incredible that your blood originium levels still remain at normal levels. You really should thank your lucky stars.
Well, it was a chaotic situation, Lieutenant. At least I'm alive. It pays to have a strong constitution.
Fine, Lady Delphine has explained what happened. It was a battle worthy of study in the war colleges. Given the difference in strength between the two sides, most of the people on your side weren't even regulars.
Oh, should I be sad that no one will remember what we did? For me, Vina is just a girl, which is fine. She just wants to be a girl. She just wants to be with her gang.
You're wrong on that, Siege. I'll remember. The soldiers outside will remember. The survivors of Chetley will remember. Most legends are not born from official records.
I didn't know that you're the type to say things like that.
Ahem. Well, I've wrapped your wounds again. Don't try to blow me off with excuses like strong constitution, because I'm going to be keeping a close eye on your condition. I'm the doctor in this room. I'll be checking on your friends too, and the injured soldiers and the civilians.
Okay, Shearer, you're being good now. You're being a good boy. Thanks, Lieutenant.
Also, I suggest you check on that guest. I'm not sure if Lady Delphine is ready to handle her on her own. I sincerely apologize for my behavior before, and my misplaced assessment about you. There's one thing on which I won't budge, however. You're too impulsive and emotional. You shouldn't be trying to solve every problem on your own. Turn around once in a while, and you'll find plenty of people ready to help.
Who's a mysterious guest? Glug glug. Phew. Take it easy, Aunt Manning. The Sarkas were everywhere on my way here. I thought I was going to die. Thank goodness that Lieutenant Shearer was tracking Ironclad Galvey, which was how he got here in time to save my life. He's a decent man but lacks flexibility. Those men would never allow him to board the ship. You said you escaped Ironclad Galvey? What's happening there? It makes me angry just thinking about it. Those damn officers charged into the central hub of the fortress and pointed their swords at me. Marquise Vontaire must be behind this. I found an opportunity to change into inconspicuous clothes and escape. Inconspicuous fancy clothes. The fortress elevator almost ripped my dress. Sounds like you really were lucky. I thought I was just coming along with your mother to see how things are going on the front lines, and to take you home. What's the worst that could happen, safe inside a nomadic fortress? Who would have thought? The old Dukes of Windermere would be proud of Mother. You're right. But you're the Duke of Windermere now, Delphine. Auntie, you're hurting me. What's with that look in your face? The general staff are eager to go back because they believe the Duke's death was caused by a Lathanian plot. You want to laugh, don't you? But they have evidence. Lathania may not be in league with the Sarkas, but they undoubtedly caused the situation. What, Lathanian? The staff are cautious about accusing Lathanian nobles directly, but they have set their sights on the rebellions going on in the provinces. No one wants to come all this way to fight the Sarkas, only to return and find the Demesne they have defended for centuries has fallen under Leithanian control. You're her daughter, Delphine. Your duty will come soon. Now let me rest, and then we'll leave this place. Leave? To where? You should not be with these peasants. Watch your words. Don't call them peasants. Alright, Delphine, listen. If you really care about them, really think that they're heroes, part of Victoria, think of how many people like them are there in your mother's demesne. If you really want to protect these people, take my advice and seek aid from the Duke of Castor to return to your demesne and take charge. Perhaps you will have to become a Castor vassal, but you'll be able to fulfill your duty. What are you balking at? Did you fall in love with them just because they fought alongside you? You stopped loving your own subjects? Accept it, Delphine. You and your mother have suffered enough. Get out of here, Auntie! Accept Duke Cassie's proposal, and at least Windermere will be spared from devastation. Why do you hesitate? Do you really want to be a vagabond forever, leaving your family, your bloodline, and your duty behind? I understand. I'm Mother's daughter, you're right. I have a responsibility, not just to my friends, but to the subjects of Windermere as well. But why did the sword guards leave me behind when I still had such a duty? If this was a duty glorious beyond all doubt, why do you come to me in such a condition? You're right. If Windermere has fallen under the cloud of conspiracy, then I feel both the obligation and desire to do something about it. But we're here with you, Delphine. Say what you want to say. Yeah, that's right. Support her. Sorry. I couldn't hold back anymore. Do you know what we just went through, madam? And you are? I'm not going with you. You have a duty. I'm my mother's daughter, comrade to these warriors, and nothing else. Even if I once was, I don't believe it anymore. I stood here for them so that their lives would no longer be the playthings of people like you, and I'm not going anywhere until I've bled my last. Leave. I hope the sarcasms don't take you. The Viscount's face is a spectacle of color, but Delphine gives her no further chance to speak. That's right, stand up for yourself, Delphine. Tell off your auntie. Humph! Humph, humph. Ooh! Isabelle has wings? Oh my. Wow, she really is built different. Best wife. She leaves with her head bowed in the direction of Lieutenant Shearer. Delphine's expression is calmer than I thought it would be. What she said, what she went through. It made me think of an old friend. Delphine did not make the same mistake. Tragedy will not strike again. But what was the price? The death of a loved one, a swift betrayal. Apparently, I was rather concerned with how Delphine would react to these things. Delphine smiles at me. It seems she has settled down. I'm fine. Let's go. The same thing cannot happen again. Head west once you leave the camp. If you're lucky enough, you should be able to reach the kind Duke of Castor. Do you think you can survive without the Duke's protection? We can and we will. Alright, I'm going to Duke Castor. I'll take a leisurely pace. This is your last chance. Come with me and we'll all live. I won't stop you. But the work of Delphine and her mother... No, I'm not the one who's wrong. You're naive, stupid, foolishly believing that you're right. So be it. I see her off on a vehicle not meant for rough terrain, leaving under the cover of darkness with a small escort. I turn around to look at our group. Hundreds, thousands of eyes converge upon a single spot. Some are soldiers laughing with each other, others are civilians celebrating. The camps fall silent. They're waiting for an answer. Mine. You heard her. It was undoubtedly an attractive proposal for many people. We survived the worst of times together, Vina. But what now? What happens when the morale and spirit that burns so brightly now is worn away by hardship and suffering? Who will tell them where to go? I do not answer, not yet. He's here. A creature with golden mane walks amongst the crowd. He looks at me. I wanted to see the answer in his eyes, hear the word of advice in these fleeting moments. But he gives no answers. All he does is look at me, waiting for me to find the answer. Yes, perhaps he is not even there. Lend me your ears. If any among you still have faith in the proud dukes that are the faces of our Victoria, you should go with that woman now. No one would fault your decision. The crowd rustles, but no one leaves. None among you. Is it not our instinct to seek protection from the powerful? It's nothing to be ashamed of. I would very much like to. Oh, how I wish that the sorry sword I carry had the power to protect my friends, such that none among them would die. She would very much like to. How many times had she cried when no one was watching, wishing that someone could have saved her mother's life. You would very much like to. Don't look away. I know you would. The Sarkas wouldn't have butchered your brother so badly. You couldn't even identify his corpse if the troops that were supposed to escort you didn't flee. But none among you have left. You know that those nobles don't care about you in the slightest. But do you really need to seek the strength and protection of another? It's always been like that for us. We keep worshipping people and things that never really give us anything, becoming their willing slaves. Massacre, infection, besiegement. We survived all that, on with our own strength. We all want to go home. We all want this rotten war to end, but we can't win by hiding. The fastest way to give those warmongering bastards hiding in Londinium the old one to the face. If the dukes won't do it, we will. I love the encouraging music with her speech about bonking. If no one will take us home, we'll walk home ourselves. A gift fell into our laps, a unit ID that the dukes left behind in Gaul. It was called the Exemplars. They were elites, the will of the nation, with a long list of accolades. But now they are nothing more than this little box in my hands. It has no special powers, but we can take it back to Londinium. Punch those warmongering bastards in the face, throw this in the faces of the dukes, and tell them, this bloody land is our land. Good speech. I want to go home to the gym where my friends were. They want to go home to the lives they once had. We cannot rely on others anymore. We cannot expect justice to be served on its own. I smashed my hammer into the earth with all the strength I can muster. I do not know why I did it. All I know is that I can no longer hold back my anger. Bam! The hammer silences all other sounds. The Exemplars! It's the Glasgow gang that first breaks the silence. The Exemplars! Then they are joined by Delphine. The Exemplars! Until everyone joins in. The Exemplars, the Exemplars, the Exemplars! The Exemplars! Say, I had a strange dream. I dreamed that a golden beast was taking a walk through our camp. And what did she look like in my eyes? For me, she was just hope. It's like, yes. A shining ray of hope. Thank you. The Exemplars. A good omen, perhaps? Let's hope it all goes smoothly. Wonder if the Self-Salvation Corps arrived at Brentwood before us. We'll have even more handsome to join up with them. Who would have thought a few days ago that we would have our own army? I kind of like the name the Exemplars. Are you sure about this, Sylvina? Are we bringing all of them back to Londinium? Very few of them are ready to fight the royal court head-on. Perhaps. There'll be more sacrifices along the way. Look at how cool they are. It's the gang, and ooh, hello, hello, welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you for the raid. I hope your stream went by well.
I'll protect them. Or maybe there will come a day when they don't need anyone's protection anymore.
Dang, Venus too cool. Ooh, I feel pretty good actually. Though man, I gotta drink hot tea after this. My voice is still kinda dead from yesterday. Let's pursue. Oh no. Oh no, let's pursue. What we doing? And we'll see you later. What this? What this do? How absurd it is that we're chasing illusions on this battlefield full of bones, blood, smoke, and mud. The illusions are our only clue. Like the Lich said, the drifting fragments of history are all the tracks it left behind. We passed through many ruins, some long forgotten, some never remembered to begin with. Soon, these sites will be gone too. Many times we barely arrived in time to grasp the last traces. We found 17 vampire war art circles. Dang, why does the vampire dude have to instigate so much? That beautiful, beautiful sussy bastard. There may be dozens more, maybe even hundreds more of them on this battlefield. They all appeared within the past week, a scary level of efficiency. We found troop tracks in 2 of them, but the marks indicated that the troops were only on maintenance or patrol missions. I doubt there's much point to destroying the art circles. They could easily replace them with new ones. It's only that much more important to take control of that thing, whatever it is. I know, right? Tutorial with a story segment? It is strange.
This place is completely ruined.
Just like the Rhodes Islands leader said. Just like the Rhodes Islanders said, it's another secret network of routes that lead into the city. Through these hubs, Teresa's has shipped up huge amounts of steel, crystal units, and witchcraft devices into Londinium, enough to repair the shard and complete that airship. But how did these materials reach Londinium? Even the dumbest dukes wouldn't let large shipments of material outside their control to travel freely around Victoria. It's probably that they, like the Notch-Zera King's Legion, appeared out of thin air around the hubs. The so-called Sarkis supply line we've been looking for may be the last and least important steps of the transport process. How did they do it?
Not only that, if Teresa's has access to methods like this, why isn't he using them directly in battle? Teleporting armies behind the enemy lines, or plopping originium bombs right on top of Ducal flagships.
At this point, I dislike the sanguinary pretty boy vampire more than Mandragora and her brattiness. Cause he... Oh, I feel so bad for Windermere Mama. Like, sheesh. But he is very, 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 very pretty. Which is why he deserves a smack in the face. Even more so. I'm totally not salty.
Either there are limitations to the method, or it's actually really fragile. The Lich called it an art beyond the realm of originium arts, but I just couldn't picture it. W, over here.
Huh?
No sign of battle. It's completely collapsed.
W has looked detached ever since that encounter a few days ago. I saw her gaze absent-mindedly into the fire while on night watch. I can't help her. She'll get through this on her own.
Let's go. There's nothing to see here.
Where are they now? I look at the map in my hand. Scattered dots mark the locations of the vampire art circles. I added a few, including the logistics hub just now, and the Notch-Zera King's Legion camp. Something had been placed there using the same methods. There must be something linking them. I scanned the names on the map: hills, valleys, small patches of forests, and a few small ponds. Some sort of commonality, shared geographical traits. My eyes fall upon the name of a town, Brentwood.
Ines, you said that Rhodes Island analyzed the intel from the Defense Forces command tower. where they had set their sights near a town by the name of Brentwood.
I draw a circle around Brentwood's location. Closure came up with analysis. She stole the records of all cargo movements since Teresa's entered the city in 1094 and created an overlapping route map. All the towns around Londinium were covered in these cargo movements on the map. It's Victoria's capital after all. All the steak and wine the citizens enjoyed before the war didn't grow on the shelves. But the area around Brentwood is strangely empty, with only a few scattered entries around 1094 and 1095. It's pretty weird, like there's a forgotten town right there in the middle of Victoria. The Rhodes Islanders think Brentwood might be the starting point of the Sarkas Underground Railroad, or the hub of a hidden network, implementing some sort of secret embargo. We just proved the existence of these logistics hubs. But we also learned that Teresa's has a pair of, well, invisible hands, which lets him put things anywhere he wants. We may need to reassess the significance of Brentwood.
No. The closer we get, the more vampiric circles we see. And vampire art circles we see. Meanwhile, if we draw the line from the furthest point to Brentwood, we see that they're about equidistant. That might be the logistical limit.
Stop guessing, I know Brentwood. You couldn't hide anything in that poor-ass town. There are barely any Sarkas vagrants when I visited a few months ago. Maybe the caravans just don't pass through there, cause... maybe the caravans just don't pass through cause there's nothing interesting there. W disinterestedly throws a rock over. She's in a bad mood, alright. She would normally have thrown a grenade pin. The rock rolls on the map and falls right where I'm looking. I'm about to move it out of the way. There's a patch of hills not far behind Brentwood. The rock fell right in the middle of the icons representing hills.
Let's go. It's not like we have any better leads. Maybe coincidence has something in mind. Let's start there.
The rock has made their decision. The hills are dark and eerie. A Victorian history book wrote that the study of history is like walking into a cave, feeling the grains on the wall. Working blindly in the dark, all you can do is try to piece together the puzzle of where we came from by feeling around in the darkness. The land is not friendly to history. Originium veins assimilate any organic tissue around them, even bones. All that archaeologists had to work with are originium-infested ruins. All they could do is mull over metal shards. But we are different. We are Sarkas. We have many ways to look back. Legends say that they are revenants. Say that the revenants in the furnace of Kazdo whisper the achievements of a certain king of Sarkas are the sad ending of another. When I was little, I used to wait by the furnace that never went out, hoping to capture a single echo from the past. But all I ever heard was silence.
You might actually be right. There's something unusual about the shadows here. There seems to be a pattern in the chaos. It's like the ripples created by a sailing ship, overlapping and interfering with one another, until nothing is left but entropy. Not so much sailing as drifting. Drifting. I once heard a story from an old Diablo. This word came up in his broken whispers.
What story?
A story of disaster. Let's hope we don't run into the stuff of those stories. Let's hope we still have some good luck left in the bank.
A merc who thinks he's lucky is a dead merc.
Which is why we need to stay behind W. We're not here to fight. We need to figure out what we're facing. If things go south, then we need to pull out.
Don't worry, I won't leave the way open for you. I'll set up the explosives and wait until you're almost at the exit. Vampires and Notch there are hot on your tail. Maybe Teresa's himself. And just as you're about to see the light, boom! You'll become the tragic hero right out of your favorite stories, Hoderer. You can't handle Teresa on your own, W. Ines, I'll actually bury you, you know. Humph. You do you.
She really will blow the hills apart, though. We both know she's crazy. No need to provoke her with Teresa's name.
It's just pathetic. The act she's putting on. I'd rather she knew what she wanted. You've been in the city for so long. If she wanted to know the truth, she could have just asked you. Did she ever ask if Teresa was real? She never asked me either. She's never grown up. She's never grown up. She could do one of two things: grovel at that Teresa's feet and beg for forgiveness, or plan to kill her. But what is that she's doing? Trying to prove that she's all great and powerful? Or is she trying to convince herself that nothing ever happened, that all she needs to do is kill people and plant mines like she's always has, and it'll all pass? It would have been fun if she could actually stop thinking about it, but right now she's like a little girl standing on the ice. She takes a few steps forward and then a few steps back, looking around the same place, sinking into pointless sentimentality.
I have no idea.
Give me a break, you just don't want the extra trouble.
I didn't know you cared so much about her.
I care about me, and I don't want to die because of her.
In all seriousness, Ines, have you ever thought about going back to Kasdel?
What? Am I in the way of your great plan?
No, it just occurred to me that W and I have a reason to stay in this war. But what about you?
I've got my reason too. Here we are. Ooh. We're inside the hill. They hollowed out the whole thing?
Well, that's going to make things easy for W's demolition plan.
Look at the size of these tracks and the loading mechanism. That's a big guy.
Shh. Get into the shadows. When's the next shift? Close. It's always on time. I should have made a report to the boss. I would rather be outside killing Victorians. You're not a warrior. I don't need you to tell me. It's just that this place is so oppressive. I see those illusions every day, the things you don't know whether they're real or not. It's like a maelstrom that keeps spitting out trash from another dimension. Good thing Ursula is a decent woman who doesn't pick on us for no reason or abuse her authority. Is she the youngest major ever, according to the military commission's ranks? She's not a member of the royal court. She won't go far. Lady Teresa and the regent aren't blue-blood devils either. Screw the royal court. Kasdel wasn't won by those fossils huddling around in the circle. But they're the strongest. That's because it's almost time. Go to the machine and prepare to load.
I like how one of them just wants to talk story while the other's just like, come on, our shift's about to end. I want to go home already. What a mood. Did you hear the name they said?
Ursula.
Could it be?
It's not necessarily the one you're thinking of, or we're thinking of. Sarkis names are often code names or taken from legends. Ursula, the Time Stealer. Ursula, of the Lock and Key. It's a Sarkis legend about the Fernmut. Anyone could have drawn from it. Wait, Ursula, the Time Stealer?
What's the origin of your name, Holderer?
Don't have one.
Huh. Did Holderer just choose his name because it sounds cool? He's like, ah yes, Holderer, that's gonna be my name now.
Bells.
Wait, over there. What's that? What was that? The hills are trembling. No, space itself is trembling. Ooh, it's a cutscene. Okay. Look at that. Look at it go. That looks complicated and fancy. Oh, it's heating up. Whatever those purple things are, they're pretty. Okay. It's being pulled along by a bone creature. Very, very edgy. Ooh, it's windy. Is it like a... I wonder what it is. And I know, right? The cinematics are fancy. It's ancient, it's literally a fossil. For an instant, I see visions beyond reckoning. Bloated emperors crumbling in halls of gold, ancient bloodborne cutting open their wrists to feed the newborn. Diabolic flames burning ember, demons with deer horns prowl beneath great bronze walls, offering battered willow wood. The one knot falls from the nothingness, splitting into countless threads. A red-skinned monster cuts off its own horn, impaling its own chest with it. Broken shards become whole again. I see a faraway city. Calm, peaceful, not yet wheeled. Not yet drowned in hatred, its beauty is absurd and out of place, even in a dream. For no reason at all, I'm convinced that it was Casdell, a home that has long ceased to exist from somewhere in history. I want to go there. To go in there. I want to see what kind of life we once led. I lift my foot but put it down in the same place again. I watch it quietly, until all is silent. Until what? A pathetic creature that is not but bleached bones moves slowly. A pathetic creature! Nerve strands reach out and grab the massive containers. It still roams in this place. It is not dead yet. It could basically be a zombie. Maybe that's how it always looked. It could be built different, that very much. This is the cargo ship? So big. How did Teresa's?
It's really... Ursula, the Time Stealer.
What a coincidence, right? The legend of Ursula tells of Casdell being attacked by a Fahrenmut that could slow the time of all things that peer into the past through the fog. Through so many pasts the hero Ursula journeyed, rescuing their kin lost in the mirage of time. Who knew that I, who took the name by happenstance, would one day witness the legend with my own eyes?
Hello, ma'am!
Would you like to join our side? I would like to offer you an invitation to Rose Island. I will take care of all your meals inside of the outpost. You've really ground those horns into shapiness. You could almost pass for a true blue sarcas.
Ursula.
Are you really going to betray General Manfred, Hoderer? I knew you wouldn't kill Inez when I first heard the rumors, but the confidential nature of my work precluded a personal visit to Londinium to see you. Aren't you supposed to be the handpicked successor to the Scar Market? Sounds like you're already the bone driver here. Is playing a hero of legend worth such loyalty and commitment? Ancient things are not so appealing anymore. Only one stuck in the past would continue to use a name.
You could give yourself a new name.
How would old friends who came along the way to visit be able to find me then? Care for a drink?
You didn't used to be a drinker.
Used to, huh? Ooh, hello, hello. He didn't use his finger sword at me either, Inez. What a great reunion with an old friend. Oh, now we're fighting. Okay, let's see how this tutorial be. Oh gosh, no fear, no fear, no fear. Just bonk the worm. Stinky worm. Gah, those vampire-altered things came back to life.
As the Blood Culling Altar's doing, the tactical witchcraft platform periodically recycles blood amber from the dead vampire spawn to produce bloodborne spawn. We have to use W's anti-witchcraft repulsable bomb to destroy the Blood Calling Altar so we can vanquish the enemy for good.
A repositionable bomb. Oh no, we have to use... I mean, thank you, W.
We can only maintain our lines for now.
Repositionable bomb.
自ら
誰かが気づく前に
もういい
This is fine.
終わりにしよ
Just gotta hold down for now.
Bombs in position. We will need some manpower to fire up the bomb transport to get it to automatically move towards the altar. We can speed it up by attacking the transport, but enemies can slow the transport's movement speed without their attacks too. The bomb will explode once it reaches the altar, destroying it. Once it's gone, the blood amber will vanish its own. Try and see it for yourself.
Okay, let's do it. Do the thing, bomb thingy.
足元を見てみなさい
You know, let's go here, why not?
しよう
And then... I guess here.
俺はここで待ってて
That seems good.
足元を見てみなさい
This is fine for now. Please, do the thing.
命令をくれ逃げねえってんなら
Explosions of
お前
life.
らの結末は一つ恐怖が隠せない
Come on, you know you wanna do a thing. No fear, no fear. Just keep on whacking until they stop.
あなたの死体を影に沈めてあげる
Oh, I actually have to attack it for real. Oh, well, I'm just gonna like
俺にやら
brute force my way through.
お前らの
I'm just gonna destroy these thingies if I can.
絶望の匂い
It's slowly filling up. I can just stall and guarantee a full win. Kind of?
足元を見てみなさ
Or is it not gonna work? Did it deploy a thing already?
い俺にや逃げねえってん
I
なら
honestly can't see.
お前らの
うもういい終わりにしよ
誰かの気づく前に
Cannot tell,
あ
cannot
なたの
see.
死体を影に沈めてあ
I mean, do I hit... Is that the thing I hit? I can't tell which is the bomb or not. Okay, wait, that is the bomb. Well, I actually killed 2 so far. I mean, 1 so far.
げる命令をくれ
So if I can kill them before they respawn, it... Theoretically, I win, right? So all could be well in the world. I don't even have to destroy the bomb. See? Look at me!
この刃がまだ血を吸い足りないって言ってるわ
If anything, Susie's gonna do a thing for me and help me out. Okay, and this should be the last one of the night then.
13-7, the blood calling altar.
It's a thing again. Yeah, Susie's gonna help me. All is good in the world. Oh, we're fighting for Sting? Okay, that's fine. I can do that.
Why must you have a thing that spawns there, though? First thing.
時間をかけるつ
Do
もり
not
はない
appreciate that.
Disgusting. Okay. And then I gotta start bringing others out.
Like right over here.
ここは私に任せろ
Maybe a healer would be good too, you know? Actually, I'm just gonna get rid of over here. Hehe. That's right, suckers.
指定の位置に向か
They're gonna start moving it?
うあがこうが抗おうが無駄だ
Oh, I see. That's how you move it. I
時間
understand
には
now.
限りがあるんだようやく私の出番か
Hey, continue moving,
何を
please.
片付ければいい
Boy. Boy, just go.
さっさと片付ければ楽に
A
終わる
silly thing. Just keep it moving. Hey. Hey, you. Hey, you. Go. Go. Just go. Keep it moving. Boy. Actually, those dudes are getting a little bit too close for comfort, so let me just do that. Boy, hurry up.
この
Move. Get out of here.
ようやく私の出番か
And just for the funsies, might as well bring another one out.
指定の位置に向か
And wait a second, silly me. Start bringing others out too. I can afford to bring out a healer. You know, healers are good. Healers make me healthy. Of course, I gotta bring one out. Okay, that's fine. Let's just attack these dudes right now. Heh. I don't even have to use those bombs. All is fine. See? All is fine because Susie's going for the bomb for me. He's adorable. Okay, that worked out. Very nice. I said that was the last one, but there was no story, so I gotta do this one then. An unplanned meeting. Okay, and away we go. Okay, starting off with a fight too. No fear. Yeah, no fear. It's fine. Actually, I should have placed them there. Oh well, too late. No regrets. Well, they know how to recycle. I respect that. Using the thermite to just move things around. Reduce, reuse, recycle. That is how it be. I understand that. Okay, I gotta start bringing others out. Get out of town. Okay, healer, good. Very, very nice so far. Oh, wait a second, over here, and then I gotta push this forward some more. Oh, crud, I kinda screwed up with that aim. Oh well. Too late. Just keep on moving. Get out of here. Yeah. And then start prepping some others like Susie. My precious baby. Okay, time to move this again. Just keep on moving. Go. Get out of here. Ooh, that was nice. Thank you, Susie. Just keep on moving it. I greatly appreciate that. Okay. Yeah, she's doing wonderful here. Wonderful work. And now, hey. I don't need to bring any more of those bombs out. It's fine at this point. No, I just gotta be patient as these others spawn into the world. And I slowly pick them off. I'm spawn camping. As one does to assert dominance. That's right. I prefer this mechanic over the other one of targeting one of my operators and then making them explode. That I hated. With a burning passion, this is fine. This is doable. I can handle this amount of pain and suffering. He just... Not that many left, okay. Like... Go get him. I don't even need a healer, I can be edgy. See, look at me being edgy, it's fine. All good. Yay. And now... Ines. Bumping into an old friend isn't necessarily a good thing for a sarcasm. I might not be a sarcasm, but I know to come up prepared. When you're a kid, you're naive and stupid. A little camaraderie is enough to get you to handing over your heartfelt... A little camaraderie is enough to get you handing over your heartfelt trust. Even if the place where you built that camaraderie stinks as bad as Casdell. Eventually, at some point, you grow up. Maybe it's the first time you kill someone. Maybe it's the first time you almost bleed out. Or maybe it's the first time you crawled out from under a pile of corpses. You start learning how to live as in the grown-up world. You can be ruthless. You use any means necessary. You can even throw your friends under the bus just to live on, and nobody will hold it against you. And then that contrived plot comes around, and you bump into an old friend. Honestly, after all these years apart, even if you're old friends, do you really have that much to talk about? It's just, when you're young and stupid, you handed over that trust. You built a friendship. But when you're at this age, you have the unique opportunity to talk about friendship in Kazda without being laughed at.
Ursula, we're done unloading. They're counting everything in at the warehouse. Same as before, steel, pure gold, orginium, stuff like that. There hasn't been a personal transport in weeks. Sounds like most of the forces from the royal court in Kazda are already here. That makes things easier on us. Back when the royal court guys were floating around, they come down here and complained to us, made all sorts of trouble.
Stop. That's enough for now.
Oh, sorry. Hey, Commander, I've been posted to the way station for 6 months now. According to the rotation schedule, it's about time for me to...
I haven't received any new orders for you. But your performance speaks for itself. I could approve 3 days of leave for you.
Oh! Ursula!
But don't let it get to your head. Make sure to stay grounded. All your life in Kazda, you were a cobbler. Your greatest accomplishment is nailing cells together. What are you in the running for unless you've prepared to blow yourself up?
Ursula, you're no fun!
Get out of here, kid. I watch Ursula's profile, the corners of her mouth curling up. Thinking back to then. She carries herself the same way, at least. The young sarcastic cobbler approaches Hoderer and slyly hands him a flask.
Whispering, hey brother, hold on to this for me. Ursula can't go a day without the stuff. You're really something, man. Walking around with this piece at your side and still.
Watch your mouth, cobbler.
What's sweeter than honey? What's toxic as nightshade?
Looks like he hasn't even had his coming of age yet. Those years with Her Highness Teresa did a lot to see these kids grow up nice and sheltered. And now he's in a war, out here by Londinium. Ha! Brother and sister joined hands to create the worst joke in history. If only it wasn't a joke. If you open that notebook, I'm setting it on fire. Hoderer quietly tucks away his notebook. You two haven't changed, that's nice. It's been years. Since that operation, me, Hoderer, and the old W got ourselves into trouble, killed some people we shouldn't have killed. It's not just a scar market. Showing your faces in Kazda would be trouble for you. I see your names there a lot, on the bounty lists. You're famous.
I've never been a cheap date.
I like his reaction to that. Sure enough, Ines' investment paid off well. We were all so young. Getting old now. I'm a Sarkaz, you're sheep. In theory, I'm gonna live longer than you, Ines. We're all infected, so this isn't about racial lifespans. Good point. I'll drink to you and wish myself good health. I remember you used to say that if a Sarkaz wants to live long, she needs to keep a clear head before somebody else trades it for a coin. Whoever wants it can take it. Victorian Sarkaz, it doesn't matter to me. She leans in close, sizing me up, then glances at Hoderer. You've got wrinkles, Ines. I died 3 times and only got a few wrinkles to show for it. I should thank the myriad souls. You don't thank them, you're a sheep. As for Hoderer, you're missing an eye.
Wanna see the socket? It's all thanks to the fine Cabernet woman right there.
Lose an eye or lose your head, you had a choice. I guess Ines broke her heart when she made that move.
Drop it. We're old friends getting together again. Can't we get back to a nice atmosphere of sentimental nostalgia? Talk about days gone by, muse on the passage of time. We could talk about how you became the youngest major in the military commission, the driver of the Skeletal Fernmut, Commander Ursula.
Yes, we should talk about that. Otherwise, we being who we are, we shouldn't be so warm and friendly. And we could also talk about you, these two sarcasts. One sarcast traitor and one sheep. Why are you popping up at a secret military commission site? I know you were detained by General Manfred Hoderer. And you and Ines, who disrupted our operations together with an obnoxious little girl, planting bombs all around, stole into my territory in broad daylight. As an officer of the military commission, I can't very well let that go.
It's 2 against 1 here, Ursula.
Is it? Remind me, where are we again?
Huh, since when? The girl wasn't like this before.
You're welcome to try, Ines. She's wearing a smile, but she's dead serious. The most important thing I've learned from over the years is to be true to my decisions.
And Teresa's is your decision?
No, the military commission is. You decided to go with Babel, or what was it called now, Rhodes Island, and I decided to stand with the commission. We decided our paths a long time ago.
Ursula, we can still...
No. I know what you want, Hoderer. You haven't changed a bit. But we're not those kids who strutted around, cheery for a whole day on the back of a single bounty anymore. We don't get to relax after our missions these days. No idle afternoons on the streets of Kasdel. We are Sarkaz, or at least we're citizens of Kasdel. It's our responsibility to make those streets and alleys a better place.
Casno's the main issue here, Ursula.
Then you've got to admit, the military commission is the best choice we've got. Even Her Highness Teresa wouldn't disagree. It was the two royals who made Kasdo into a nomadic city. The both of them who made it possible for us to even talk about the future of the Sarkas here. It was the same two royals who promoted me, giving a poor girl from the slums a chance to stand in the sight of the royal court, among those pure and ancient bloodlines. Once trapped by naivety and compromise, the Sarkas lose their chance at a true homeland. There's no room for me to hesitate here. The military commission, it's the foundation for Kasdo to become a nation.
Will there even be a Kasdo once this war is over?
All I know is I'm no traitor. Sure, we're prepared to bump into this old friend from the beginning. Hoderer tacitly crosses from side to side to comfort this stupid girl. The major of the military commission.
10 minutes, that's my limit. Get as much intel on that thing as you can.
I bypass several Sarkas blocking my way, shadows entwining their ankles. I leap up, climbing up the nerve clusters of this terrifying creature, the slippery feeling making me slightly sick. Is this a Fahrenmutt? I've never seen one before. Show me the secrets hiding in your mind. Touch. What I make on Ursula's view on this war? That's her decision. I can't say I'm for or against that. This isn't a good section to walk on. My luck has been pretty bad lately, always ending up in the body of some kind of monster. Last time it was a revenant, this time it's whatever this is. Ugh, I hope I don't have to jump off it this time. These nails piercing its spine must be some kind of witchcraft device. Are those nerve clusters trembling? Does this thing still have a will of its own?
She's here.
Ugh, how are they so quick? They climb the skeleton in hot pursuit. The sinews between the bones become something like a ladder for them, with the splinters of fallen bones serving as their weapons. Ew.
They know war. Ursula's trained a real elite unit.
But they could stand to work in some variety. Schmack. All they've got is me. All they got on me is numbers. A foreboding instinct pops into my head as I instinctively dodge to the side. A huge cluster of nerves comes crashing down, and the bone fragments I have been standing on shatter and crumble. Ooh, terrifying. It's so hard on itself. Humph, looks like every bone fragment, every bundle of sinew here could be a deadly weapon. That's a pain. The nerve cluster wraps around again. I sink my dagger into it so hard that it recoils violently, carrying me high into the air. Alright, so it has the most basic of reflexes. Good enough. There's a cabin up ahead. Right there. With all my might, I grab the dangling bundle of nerves and leap away. Whee! Dust everywhere, from wind-weathered bone. This should be the center. No clear interface. Is it driven purely by witchcraft? A willing slave, or a marionette controlled by strings? You dodged my arts, Inez. That should have gone right through your heart. You still haven't fixed that old habit of yours. Your casting always deviates a little to the left. Lucky I've been in the bad end of that enough times. Humph. You in a hurry? Did Hodor make a fool of you? It's fragile, isn't it? Not as honest as it seems. You're welcome to guess. If we get the chance, I'd really like to hear about those 3 deaths you mentioned. Must be a thrilling story. You want to try once? No, I'd rather live. I'd rather us live. If you can make it through the chaos and live on, that is. Hodor, what are you doing, bro? A tremendous force flips me over. The nerve bundle sweeps away. Trying to tug me with it, the ferryman is gradually swinging its body. They built a lot of cabins here. And the thing tends to drift in the space. What if the ferryman wanders when I'm not in one of the cabins? I really don't want to find out. I'm not Hodor, and I'm not into becoming history. Shadows like blades sweep through the Hall of Bone. Save what's left of your dignity, Inez. There's no point. Your shadows can't protect you in the might of the Fahrenheit. Withered bone dust takes flight again, filling my vision.
Thanks for the reminder. Hodor!
Hodor! Oh, there he is! Oftentimes, even I have to admit that Hodor makes a pretty good partner. I'm actually glad we didn't betray each other. It's hard to find a sarcasm like him. The past was tough, and the future's gonna be tough too. The dim firelight rises with the dust, twisting. His figure emerges from the embers, sparks in the wind singe his cloak and my hair. And sometimes, only sometimes, I'm willing to tolerate his obnoxious art.
We're well past the age when we can talk about friendship. But I'd rather live in a future cast out that keeps the silly naivety we've always laughed at.
The turbulence is intensifying. I grab his hand. Yeah, no time to reminisce here. I forgot to tell you, Hodor. General Manfred gave me your book. It's pretty good, I have to admit. You gather up the bits and pieces, arranging them into chronological order, thinking you found the thread. But you've been running all this time. Do you plan to do this forever?
Drop it, Ursula. It's time to say goodbye. Hodor, you're jumping with me this time. Don't get swept away by the turbulence of history. Never forget the present, the life that you're living. You're the boss.
Boiling shadows point the way for us, scorched dust carrying us along. Whee! Look at all the sceneries! The illusions shift before our eyes. When I'm falling fast enough, I suddenly realize that history really does look pretty fragile and hypocritical. I see a vast and familiar battlefield, one of the war zones from Casdell, where the flames are still burning. I recall the past. Hodor always wanted to steer clear of the war that tore apart his people. I forced myself to turn my head, while he single-mindedly focused on finding a suitable landing zone. Run away from the war? Heh. We weren't at Babel when Her Highness came under attack. We could have left Castle straight away. Why did we go back for W? Why join Reunion? Why lay low in Londinium all this time? Why is Hodor fighting for... what is Hodor fighting for anyway? What am I fighting for? We break through the earth, the illusions vanish, and we see what was always there. He grabs my arm, telling me to be ready. Arts envelop us, and my vision clears. Shadows rise from the ground. Maybe we stopped running a long time ago. Okay, they're fine. So, oh man, their friend Ursula. Ma'am, if you want to join our side, if you decide to jump sides, I am willing to accept you. I love your design. And your friends, you're like old friends with them, so why not? You can reminisce all you want at my outpost in Rose Island. There you go, ma'am. Open invitation. Ooh, that was a lot. A lot. So much happened again. I liked seeing more of W, of course. W is always a win. No, gosh darn it, Enos, why is your luck so bad with giant things? All is ending up inside of its, like, well, stomach really, and then having to jump away from it. Girl, I think you're cursed. I love Ursula's design. She's beautiful. She's gorgeous. She is definitely my type when it comes to designs, or one of my types. So I would love to summon her. She is greatly welcome here. Yes, indeed. So that's it for tonight for the story. I gotta farm some more inside of FGO as one do, you know? Oh, the events. I gotta make sure I have like 500,000 points at least for the story apparently, so I gotta get to that, you know? I am like maybe 1/5 of the way, haha, but there's lots of time, so I'm just being chill about it. So with that being said, thank you everyone for stopping by the stream. I hope everyone has a great rest of their day and epic gacha luck. I shall see you guys later. I gotta make myself some tea. So bye bye. Woohoo!